answer because I'm gagged by this judge. But we have a very, very serious problem here. I mean, our country's going bad. And remember, and let me just leave you with this. This is all because of Joe Biden and I don't even think it's him. I don't think he's smart enough to think about it. But it's the people that surround him in the office. They're smart. They're fascists, they're communists, but they're smart. And they're ruining our country. But we're going to win this election. November 5th is going to be the most important day in the history of our country. We're going to take back our country from these fascists and these thugs that are destroying us with inflation and with everything they do, how stupid they are, allowing 15, 16, 17 million people into our country, totally unvetted, totally unchecked. We're going to bring back our nation November 5th. Remember, most important day in the history of our country. In the meantime, this trial is rigged. Thank you.
So Donald J. Trump, former president, just spoke out. I think the fact that he is saying that Mother Teresa, couldn't beat these charges, it's not a good sign when he said it the first time, but when he said it the second time, I thought, ruh-roh. So just looking at a review of what the jury instructions from Judge Juan Merchan, who, remember, it's public record that he donated to groups called Stop Republicans and voting for Democrats. But remember that his daughter is a biggity big Democrat operative and stands to profit from all of this, right? So Judge Juan Merchan, and remember that I told you Representative Elise Stefanik, New York, she filed the complaint with the state inspector general to complain that Judge Juan Merchan, isn't it a coincidence that he has control over all of these Trump cases, including, I believe it was Steve Bannon's case. So the judge saying to the jurors, you must not make a decision based on biases or stereotypes. You must set aside personal differences. You must not speculate how long sentencing may be or what that punishment might be, because that is up to the judge. Remember, in these 34 felony counts having to do with bookkeeping and finance, the judge, Trump, that technically, if you look it up, these 34 felony counts could carry a sentence of 4 years in prison. Trump, by the way, is required to stay. That's why he referenced, I guess I'm going to, hang out or something. He's required by the court to stay there. The jurors cannot hold it against Trump for not testifying. The prosecutors, known as the people must prove beyond a reasonable doubt every element of the crime, and the judge reminded the jury it must not rest its verdict on speculation. The jury can consider whether a witness hopes to receive any benefit related to the trial, or if they have an interest in how the case should end. The jury has to be unanimous if they find Trump guilty on each count on whether or not he committed the crime personally or acted together in concert with others, or both. The jurors have to determine if Trump conspired to promote somebody or prevent them from public office by unlawful means. And so there's the component of the campaign. Again, that's where you have to, really thread this needle, right? Because not only on one side do you have the element that it's an alleged conspiracy, that you put this financial these checks and these payments, you put them in the wrong column, but that they have to determine if Trump conspired or promoted somebody, and that would impact that individual from public office by unlawful means. See, I think that one, they definitely did not prove that one. I don't know how they proved that one. And they have to deliberate with a view toward reaching an agreement without surrendering individual judgment. The jurors' notes cannot be used in place of evidence. I mean, some of these are the standard instructions, as you know. The foreperson has to deliver the verdict for each count after they finish deliberating. They have to surrender their phones and can only discuss the case when all 12 of them are together. So if somebody goes to the bathroom or two people go to the bathroom, you know what I'm saying? You have to sit there and wait for, the 10 of you are not able to discuss. And so, as far as the law applicable to, quote, falsifying business records, the judge told the jury you must find beyond a reasonable doubt first, and that he solicited, requested, commanded, opportuned, or intentionally aided that person to engage in that conduct. And second, that Trump did so with the state of mind required with the commission of the offense. That's the exact quote, and explained what makes a person guilty of falsifying business records in the first degree. So there are other degrees of this. And then what constitutes a violation of the Federal Election Campaign Act, saying it's unlawful for any individual to willfully make a contribution to any candidate running for office, including the presidency, exceeding certain limits, which in the relevant years was $2,700. So they're alleging that somehow this was a campaign contribution. Remember that had Costello been able to talk about this on the stand, he would have broken that down and said, here's why we did not, why they didn't go to charge Trump on this, because they couldn't prove that, and that was not the case. This is a fascinating case. Obviously, we will be anxious to watch it. I can only say that if they were, let's see, if they were Gen Zers taking away their phone while they can you imagine? Or even millennials, which generation? We should look at the generation and then try to figure out who could possibly stand going days without their phones. You see, you'll get a quicker verdict. The younger like my teenagers, forget it. They would just be like, oh no, I can't live without my phone. Got to have the phone. So we'll see how all of this goes. And of course, this is where it's great that we're live, we're local, because we're here to report on every single detail, the reaction, what's happening. And of course, Anthony Dorenzo and I, Jimmy Kelly, we're going to try to get out of this building ASAP, because we're told it's going to be gridlock in Philadelphia with two different motorcades, Biden and the Veep, here in Pennsylvania, as they try to get back the black vote.
If I were smart, I'd say thank you and leave.
Yes. Well played, Anthony Dorenzo. Big Dan, Dom Giordano are in the house. Hey, Dom.
Well, we're being abandoned. When are we getting out of here, Dan? We got to get out of here.
Stuck.
Let's flee. Are we going to be stuck with this eloquence? Dawn, to Biden coming to Girard College. This is an atrocity about ready to happen here. If he does what he does, telling these kids they have no hope, Girard College should be, I know the guy that runs it, the ultimate place of hope.
Yeah.
So let's see what he says. We have Lee Zeldin coming on, too, to kind of rebut it a little bit later in the show.
Wonderful. Great Dom show just ahead.
Ain't seen nothing yet.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT. Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
John, good morning. What movie did we just play for you, sir?
Rocky III, The Eye of the Tiger.
By the way, John, what's your favorite Rocky movie of all time? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
Rocky V with Tommy Gunn.
That might be one of the worst films of all time.
I thought my controversial take was Rocky 4.
First Rocky.
It's
was
not.
Right. Dawn, you're in the majority, I think. I think most people do believe the first is the best.
Yeah, I'm with you, Nick. It goes in descending order. Is that correct? 4, 3, 2, 1? Yeah.
Pretty close to that, yeah.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Abercrombie & Fitch is rising from the fashion graveyard. The retailer's shares are up more than 18% after blowing past first quarter estimates. Revenue rose for the sixth straight quarter to $1 billion, with profit improving on fewer promotions and clearance deals. Also helping was its expansion into wedding and office wear. Dick's Sporting Goods is seeing strong demand for sports gear across its categories. The retailer just raised its outlook for the year and had a strong sales quarter. Some of the gains came, though, at a cost to its rivals like Foot Locker. The CEO has been expanding a new retail concept by renovating or relocating stores as House of Sport locations. The stores feature amenities like batting cages and golf club repairs. Stocks today are lower, down between 1/3 and 1%. Nancy Lyons, Bloomberg Business on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and online at 1210WPHT.com.
I want to tell you about my friend, my dentist, and the master of dental implants, Dr. Mike Veneria at Veneria Dental. You know, we're approaching special occasion season, graduations, showers, weddings. If you're getting ready for a special event, don't forget your smile, because it's going to be in all the pictures. Get your smile special occasion ready by making an appointment with Dr. Mike today. I've been telling you about Dr. Mike for years. My entire family goes to Dr. Veneria because the level of care and commitment to dental excellence that Dr. Mike and his staff delivers to every patient is unmatched. He's been delivering results that surpass expectations, and that has made him a top dentist in New Jersey for 10 consecutive years. So if you've been on the fence about getting that dental procedure done, give Dr. Veneria a call. I promise you won't be disappointed. With 2 locations to serve you in Cinnaminson and Woodbury, schedule your free implant consultation today for your perfect smile. Call 856-786-2020 or visit veneriadental.com.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time. Welcome in. Good news to report. We'll tell you about what's happened with the jury instructions. There's one big part of it today. We have Lee Zeldin. Remember, he ran against Hochul? I'll ask him, does he really believe Hochul thinks kids in the Bronx don't know the word computer? And what was it like to be attacked by a maniac? He's on with us today to rebut Biden, Harris, both in town. And where are they going? A sacred place. I've been there several times over the years, and the guy that's running it, he's been on the show. We can get him on tomorrow. I love him. And I guess that David P. Hardy, he was the founder of a great African-American private school with discipline, classical values, boys Latin. He's now the interim president of Girard College. I don't think he's a Biden fan, and we know that Biden and Harris are enemies of black kids getting a good education. Of course they are. Yes, I stick by that. They are. The reason is, if you're against charters, if you're against vouchers, if you're against the parent making the decision, you are an enemy of poor black and Latino kids getting a good education. You're the enemy of it. There is no doubt in my mind. Thank God there are people like Eamon Brown in the Democrat Party who are not. Senator Williams out there in West Philly. You know, Dan, I'd love to get him on tomorrow and ask him that. Williams. Mm-hmm. I know he'd be put in an awkward position. How in the world do they go to a school like Girard College? And is Joe Biden, when he goes there with these impressionable kids whose parents are, thank God, getting a boarding school situation that is a great education. You may remember the battle over Stephen Girard and his will. It was internationally famous. Financier of the Revolutionary War. And Biden's going to go there and tell them they love America more than America loves them back, just as he said at Morehouse. Is that what he's going to do with Kamala Harris there? Are they both going to bellyache about that and accuse everybody else of being a racist? We want parents to have choice. You only want them mothers to have a choice if they're going to abort. Once the baby's born, you don't want choice. And the reason is because you're beholden to the voracious unions. I wonder if Randy Weingarten will show up. So we'll bring you a little bit of the Biden sound. It's making national news because this is an effort to relaunch African Americans for Biden. Now, I don't know what's more ridiculous, Biden going to Girard College or then to a place of black entrepreneurs. But I'll tell you this, it's my duty to call out the slackers. The Philadelphia Republican Party, I wonder what Vince Fennerty's doing. Hey, Vince, are you knocking back a couple martinis at this point or a shot? No, I'm sorry, a shot in a beer, Vince. Call me and tell me you're not. What are you going to do to counter the Biden message here?
Citywide.
Yeah, with prominent Republicans, particularly if they're African American or Latino. How about old Larry? He issued 2 sentences today at the state level. How are these people in power? And we got to win Pennsylvania. Put Scott Presler in charge. Presler reporting on his Twitter, he may be on the show later today, that in 1 week, the margin in voter registration in Bucks County went from Dems ahead by 1496. Now they're only ahead by 1222. I don't know if Scott Presler, Dan, I'm going to try to get the commitment from him. By the time of Dom Giordano Day, we want Bucks County to be red.
We can do it.
Now, that's 1,222 more registrations plus that he has to get in only about 3.5, 4 weeks. Come on, Scott. That's doable. I can't imagine the celebration. It's incrementalism. Guys like that are living, breathing this are what is needed versus these flunkies with this phony event in town. All right, we'll have a lot more to say about that. The one jury charge today that we knew was coming, but it still is hard to believe. Judge Marchand told them, and I'm reading word by word, that 4 jurors out of the 12 could decide on the tax evasion count. 4 could say it was a violation of state election law, what Trump did. And 4 could say it was a federal violation. And yet he would say that is a unanimous verdict. Now, how in the world can it be a unanimous verdict? Why not put 50 crimes up there? Then they could take a smorgasbord, alleged crimes, to pick from. That was the big thing that I saw today. Hopeful note. Here's why it's hopeful. A number of jurors, according to reports, so I saw several reports, were taking notes. I like that because it may mean you're going to have people going in there that want to be armed explicitly to what the instructions are, what the elements are, and all that, versus those that are going, ho-hum, when do I get to send Trump to jail? Fox and Friends this morning playing out what it will be like when Trump goes to jail, if necessary, if he does go to jail. Wow, I wasn't expecting Steve Ducey to say, here's cell block C over here.
The deuce.
Yes. All right. Want to play you, though. One other good update. I'll be at a meeting on the Rizzo statue in early June.
Oh.
The committee about the relocation. So please submit to me where you want to see the statue, any thoughts you have on the statue. I'm honored to be part of that. And I won't be able to tell you everything that goes on, but I'll update you on where the Rizzo statue, where they're leaning, where it possibly could go. And this is a big committee, George Paquetto. It's heavy duty, the people that are on it.
So now that you're like part of this committee, do you get an official cummerbund, or is there a nightstick that they give every person?
Yes, I would suggest that as a.
You know how they give hats to some.
And Rizzo at the Tasker Homes riot when he did that, the cummerbund looked like a size 80 around it. It was this huge thing. Who else would have the nightstick and the cummerbund?
You're a crumb creep, lush coward.
I never asked him about the cummerbund. All right. But
get away from me, you crumb.
Well, I could say that for what I'm going to tell you next. We have beaten them. And here's another example that we have beaten the King of Hair and Miss Kim and the wife in Jersey. Orsted is going to pay the state of New Jersey $125 million for pulling out of the wind project. But that is, and the Inquirer said, that's less than half of the $300 million Orsted originally guaranteed if it failed to build its first wind farm off the coast. So Jersey taxpayers are on the hook big time for what Murphy did here. And he's doubling down. He's saying, well, we're not going to waste that money. We're going to get more of these projects. No, goofball. We're going to beat you. It is personal. This guy sucks. It's not just policy. He's a menace. So last night, he was on this News 12, the big station in Jersey, Phil Murphy, talking about what happened over the weekend at the Jersey Shore. We're going to talk with Lenny Desiderio. He's one of the top commissioners in Cape May. He's also the head of the mayor of the Sea Isle about this at 12:30. I want to play the second cut first, Dan, 12B. Here's Murphy when asked by the news guy, gently asked, well, people are saying the cops don't have the ability to deal with these kids because of what you've done, because of the law change that was passed. Here's a little bit of the King of Hair.
Let's remember, I'm not aware of any public beach in the state where smoking anything is legal. So there's no question whether you're smoking weed or you're smoking a cigarette or a cigar. That is illegal in New Jersey, number one. Number two, we got a lot of feedback over the past couple of years that law enforcement didn't have enough sort of support, if you will, to intervene and go after folks who are particularly teenagers, in this case underage, whether alcohol or cannabis, that were conducting illegal activities. We worked with the legislature and changed that, and I signed a law in January.
That's a lie. No, you didn't.
And I hope that the chief and maybe Natalie Hamilton's with me. Maybe we could get Rob Field or someone to reach out to the Lavalette chief and see how he's doing and get any feedback on that. We think that has put us in a much better place than we were a couple of years ago. And again, it takes a village. It's law enforcement, it's moms and dads, it's the kids themselves, it's their coaches, teachers, and so let's all come together here and make sure we have a great summer on the shore and on our lakes.
Oh, on the lakes, too. That's a lie, buddy. You're a liar. You didn't fix this at all. The Inquirer even reports that Phil Murphy and advocates contend that the laws are necessary to alleviate disparate racial and socioeconomic outcomes in the criminal legal system and to address substance use matters with an approach based on public health. This year, he declined to sign legislation that included a $50 fine for underage drinking, saying it ran counter to his efforts at reform. He just lied there. He contends police have the tools they need and that the law has been tweaked to help support their efforts. Here's a little bit more of what he said about the stabbings and about everything else that happened. How 99%, don't you love it when they say the 99% thing? We're fine at the Jersey Shore. So I'm sorry, Tim. You could have a meteorite hit Seaside Heights and Murphy go, yeah, but you know, the other 99% of the time, things were fine. Here's the King of Hair.
From rowdy crowds and violence in Seaside Heights, Wildwood, and the third one was Ocean City.
First of all, it's good to be with you.
Yes.
And I notice you no longer say formerly known as Twitter. We've graduated to full X. Listen, there were.
Oh, man, I just gotta stop it there. What?
Yeah. Yes.
What?
3 communities that had incidents over the weekend, and you rightfully pointed them out: Seaside Heights, Ocean City, and Wildwood. And we take all of those incidents very, very seriously, as I know the communities do. I've been on with the respective mayors, Tony, Jay, and Ernie. Our teams have been on with them. There was a stabbing in Ocean City, so that victim, 15-year-old, I'm told indirectly is doing well under the circumstances, but we obviously keep that person in our prayers. And again, we take all of this very, very seriously. Having said that, the weekend was overwhelmingly a successful weekend, including even in those towns. I was on with a couple hours ago with the Wildwood mayor, and he said we had a fantastic weekend. We happened to have this overrunning of, it sounds like a bunch of teenagers.
I suspect he's taking some words out of context.
Yeah, Mayor Ernie, feel free to call in here, yeah?
To the point where they had to declare a state of emergency.
They did. Which they lifted the next morning. Again, you're on the one hand, you're taking anything like this deadly seriously. We always have and we always will, including postmortems on what we as a state can do to help out and help these communities do as well as they can. But I don't want anyone to think there was a hysterical header in the Star-Ledger today, which was ridiculous. The Shore did not have a chaotic weekend. There were 3 very serious incidents, but this was overwhelmingly.
Now stop it there for a minute, you clown. There weren't 3 incidents. You don't get to, thank you. You don't get to meld all this together. There were 3 incidents. No, there were not. That's why Wildwood had to do a state of emergency. There were 100 incidents that were ongoing. You don't get to lump the three towns and say 3 incidents. There was the stabbing, but there was kids running amok all over the place in Ocean City. Wildwood, there were all kinds of fights. That's why they declared a state of emergency. The news guy there, put your Starbucks cup that you had there and do your job and point out, wait a minute, in fairness, Governor, that's not 3 incidents. These were rolling incidents. Are you aware of that?
You're a coward.
Do you contend that there's still 3 incidents here? You don't get to say that. That's not true. A little bit more.
The Shore did not have a chaotic weekend. There were 3 very serious incidents, but this was overwhelmingly a huge Memorial Day. We think, based on the metrics that we're seeing, and this is somewhat, as always, weather dependent. We are beholden to Mother Nature here. And the sense we have based on all those metrics, this is going to be the biggest summer ever. I was in Seaside Heights Friday, the day before the incident. Sunday morning, just after the incident, I could tell you firsthand witness, it was booming.
Yes, it's booming, baby. Knife sales are up. I can tell you that, too. Can you imagine 3 incidents? 99% certitude. That's just not true. Wildwood would not have shut down over 1 incident. It wasn't that. I will talk with the mayor of Sea Isle City about that with this guy. But this is a national story. This is progressivism. It's what they directed to stop the cops. That's what the issue is. All right, let me give you the side question. Today, Dan, is National what?
Coco V Day?
Okay.
Is that how we pronounce it?
We need Joe.
We need the expert. You want the expert?
I need Joe of Exton, but yeah.
Oh, well, let's go to a bigger expert. How about Julia Child to tell us?
All right.
To the delicious aroma of sizzling bacon, add chicken and garlic and herbs and mushrooms and onions and red wine. And what do you have? Coq au vin. One of the most delicious chicken dishes you ever put in your mouth.
All right, so in honor of that, we don't want to know cooking. Julia Child, Dan is right.
Wait, you got to say, what is it? National what day?
Coq au vin.
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 Feel free to say that like aloha when you call in now into the future here. It's a code word.
Be very careful about pronouncing it.
I don't know if Johnny will be serving that on Dom Day there, Coq au vin. That sounds like a lot of ingredients. Maybe whip it up. But anyhow.
One of the most delicious chicken dishes you ever put in your mouth.
Julia Child, lovable character.
So lovable.
We're looking for a real or fictional lovable person character today. I'll take Dolly Parton off.
That's a great
Can't
one.
win with that because that's just... I'm also going to talk off, more than Dolly Parton to me, Mr. Rogers. Although Mr. Rogers takes some shots at, De Niro would duke it out with Mr. Rogers, I'm sure. It can be a fictional one, too, though. If you want. All right, Dan, how about yours?
John Cena. Who
Yes.
hates John Cena? Everybody
Yeah.
loves John Cena. Come on.
Exactly.
Even wrestling fans that once hated John Cena love John Cena. Betty White. I got to meet Betty White face to face. She called me a handsome guy before.
I remember that. The Stern Show. Yep.
And how about John Wayne? Is there anyone that dislikes? You think liberals dislike John Wayne?
Yeah, they do.
Oh,
yeah,
do
I
they?
think they did.
All right,
yeah.
then John Wayne's off the list.
Yeah, I don't. He's got a lot of polarity there. Frank Rizzo, lovable character.
You are a lush. I can tell by looking at you.
Maybe not. All right. I think Rizzo might have gone to the Trump thing outside the courthouse if he were around today. That'd be a great moment. De Niro on one side and Trump on the other.
Coq au vin.
And I hate how Trump did on Truth Social go after him and say small in size and in reputation.
Hey.
About De Niro.
Take that thing out. Unhook it.
All right, here are the phone lines. Get in right now, 855-839-1210. We're awaiting, and I'm hoping since, every other week, are we going to see Biden and Kamala Harris and today both here together, all out to relaunch this effort at African-American voters. And what are they going to do? Going to go to Girard College and say how much racism is still out there. They're going to go to some black entrepreneurial place somewhere around there and tell them all the things that they've done. I just hope somebody holds up a hamburger and says, how about lowering the price? Phone lines, 855-839-1210.
Hey, it's Nick. Join me for WPHT's Veteran Spotlight, a program where we shine a spotlight on one outstanding local veteran in partnership with the Travis Manion Foundation, celebrating their remarkable commitment to community service and their exceptional service in the military. On Wednesday morning, June 5th, we honor Dale Wetherell, United States Marine Corps veteran, for his service and his exemplary contribution to the veteran community. Presented by Window Nation. For all of your window and door needs, visit windownation.com.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-254-4574. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-254-4574 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-254-4574 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-254-4574.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Extraordinary awaits when you open up yourself to a world of possibilities with the 150-year-old Herradura Tequila. Made with unmatched care and aged to perfection, Herradura Tequila has the sophisticated taste to make any moment extraordinary. Herradura Tequila. Available at your local PA Fine Wine and Good Spirits store. Please enjoy Herradura Tequila responsibly. Alcohol 40% by volume, 80 proof. Herradura Tequila, imported by Brown-Forman, Louisville, Kentucky.
Don't let them silence you. Follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Tom Giordano Show. Welcome in. So Dr. Jill Biden is on a media tour today. She was just on The View, telling the esteemed ladies of The View, intellectual giants, we will lose all of our rights if another conservative gets on the Supreme Court. New York Times going wild today over Alito, completely deranged, and the flags. Washington Post had the story first sometime back and passed on it because they thought it was just a dispute between neighbors. Washington Post. But no, not the New York Times. They're going to go down Broadway with this because they want to besmirch the court, bank shot toward Trump. But the sound I want to play you today, we got several of these people that were on Morning Joe and other MSNBC shows. One guy is a notorious Trump hater, Donnie Deutsch. And a notorious, I don't know if he was ever an apprentice, had anything to do. He might have at one point. Just in a bubble, out of touch, even for Morning Joe. Listen to his take on, and then Andrew Sorkin, another guy. They're living in these multi-million-dollar bubbles, and they just can't give it up that the average American is having trouble because of Biden inflation. Listen to Deutsch.
You know, Donnie, people vote for their own best interest, the best interest of themselves, their family, their children. As Ronald Reagan famously said, a recession is when your neighbor loses his job. A depression is when you lose your job. So you would much rather people be saying, hey, things are going pretty well for us. Overall economy, not so sure. But for us, it's going pretty darn well. Those people, when they go into the voting booth, they're going to vote their interests and their family's interests so they can, send their kids off to school, so they can, keep paying their rent, or they can afford a new car, or, afford a new house.
It's interesting. The key to your point, what's everything is, how are you doing? Are you better than you were 4 years ago? How are you doing? And the answer is, I'm fine. I think when you ask people about the economy, that's become kind of a placeholder for an abstract, how are things overall? How are things in the world? How is it that macro thing that's not necessarily you? And I don't think that matters as much. I think the important thing in the polls is that question. How are you doing? And how are you doing? And how are your finances doing? And the fact that people abstractly say, well, 50% think the Dow is down, 50% think unemployment is going in the other direction. Those are abstract. Yeah, it's not so good over there, but it's good with me. And as to your point, Joe, that's what matters in the polls. I mean, that's what matters in the voting booth.
Yeah. So, buddy, what the hell do you think's going to happen then? He completely deranged, trying to spin himself out of his own lack of thought. Yeah, people are voting their interests. They're not looking at the macro, the economy. They're saying, how in the world am I paying what I'm paying for this? Fast food is a great place to look at this, or the grocery store. And there's no getting out of that. There's nothing Biden's going to say today or any day on that, because he just doesn't care about that. He wants you to look at all these grand accomplishments. He's a great man. He doesn't want you to look at what you're paying. Here's Andrew Sorkin, a bit more elevated, CNBC guru. Here's what he said about this whole, why are people not getting how good things are overall?
That's what this is about. More people saying they're planning to buy a car in the next couple months. More people saying they're going to buy big appliances in the next couple months. All of those are good signs. Less folks, obviously, in a position now to buy a new home. That's still not a great number. But what's interesting is if you juxtapose these numbers, which are very good numbers, against this very bizarre, and it's a different poll but from last week, where you have people completely misinformed, but a majority of the country saying they believe they're in a recession. And so there's sort of a very interesting sort of dynamic at play here, which is that, when you're asked very specific questions about your own confidence, it is clearly getting better. And yet when they're asked these sort of broader questions, and I don't know if it's because people are just genuinely misinformed. I don't know what television network they're watching or what they're reading online. But the idea that more than half the country thinks we're in a recession, and you can look historically at the data of where we are, and it's just, it is the 180 degrees the opposite. It's very hard to square.
It could also be that poll. I mean, you look at the information right now in this U.S. Consumer Confidence report. It actually shows Americans. Some Americans think we may go into a recession within the next year, but many don't think we're there right now. And you still ask people individually how they're doing, and most Americans say they're doing pretty darn good.
Who are they asking?
That's the interesting part. If you ask people individually how they're doing, they love to say they're doing pretty well. If you ask them how they think everybody else is doing, they seem to think that everybody is doing quite poorly. And I have to imagine that is somewhat the impact of either social media or misinformation. It's very hard to fully grapple
all right.
with.
Misinformation, social media, and all that. I'm not saying people are destitute. But what these people in the bubble don't understand is people are having to make choices that I contend, as an American, they shouldn't have to make. They're diminished because of the high cost of all this stuff that's not going away. Is that misinformation? What's the misinformation here? People don't have the income to match what they would like to do. Do you want to tell the voters? Well, they're unrealistic. Their expectations are. I sit here in my $1 trillion palace and tell you you're going to have to tighten your belt. I mean, who in these panels on a Morning Joe or any of these things is not inside some kind of bubble? They're definitively inside that. They don't have any sense of it because they all experience the same thing. Yeah, things are costly. The servants' pay went up. Do they get the choices the average American should have to make? And then when they do, they say, well, what are you complaining about? Why are you complaining about all this stuff? What's wrong with you? That's what it costs. Just pay it or shut up and don't eat it. Yeah, but it shouldn't cost that. It costs what it costs. All right, we got the mayor of Seattle coming up. Let me take a quick, who is our lovable person? John in Huntington Valley. Hey, John, afternoon. Who's your
Hey,
lovable?
Tom, how you doing?
Good.
I got George Bailey from It's a Wonderful Life, Mr. Jimmy Stewart.
Yes, that film is inspirational any time of the day. Thank you. George Bailey is a good one. Dan, do you have this? Dr. Jill Biden asked about Biden debating and said, yeah, just imagine this. And Joy Behar, noted neurologist, said how sharp Biden is today. Here's Dr. Jill.
Less than a month away, and we've debated at this table. There have been people that have thought President Biden shouldn't even debate President Trump just due to the fact that Donald Trump will gaslight, he overtalks. Yes. There are no guardrails. So he stalks. Yeah. Well, I happen to believe it's really important, more than ever, to have a debate with guardrails. What is the strategy that the president has going into this? Any tips you'd have for a debate that we could pull off where we could actually hear our candidates?
No, they've built that in where they're going to turn off those mics so that somebody can't ramble or scream at somebody.
Can't ramble or
my
scream,
husband
though.
would be the one doing that. And so that's already been negotiated. And, I think the American people deserve a debate because you need to see your choices. You need to see Trump, and you need to see the president, and you need to see the differences. And my husband's, and you're going to see how smart he is and the experience he has.
Let's give him a quiz.
And
Bring him over
here.
here.
Somebody who, like you're saying, I'm going to use Joy's words, can't put a sentence together, and everything is beautiful and it's wonderful.
Tremendous. Big league.
Tremendous. Yeah. So I think the American people deserve to see the two men who are running for this office, because your choice is going to be clear.
Yeah.
Just one thing, Dan. I'm not going to vote for anybody who doesn't understand the first rule of leadership is hand-to-hand combat. If you want Mike shut off and somebody's over-talking you and you can't take it, you know what it reminds me of, Dan? When I told you Sam Katz, who I like and still like, John Street's guy was getting in his face, calling his wife the C word on a bullhorn. He didn't drop the guy, attack him right there. Can't vote for you. Can't vote for John Street, of course, either. That's what it comes down to. If you can't handle the hand-to-hand of a combat with Trump or anybody else, and you need all these guard rules, we have to hear the brilliant point Joe Biden's going to make. Now, they want to see if you can stand up for yourself, if you can defend whatever it is you want to do versus Trump. And if you can't do that, if you can't take Trump on in a debate in that way, what are you going to do with Putin and the Iranians? Give me a break. Grow up. Hand-to-hand combat. All right, coming up, we'll talk with the mayor of Seattle City, Lenny Desiderio. What does he take from all that we've seen this weekend? What does he want to do next? First, let's talk FanDuel. The NBA playoffs have tipped off, but it's not too late to get in on the action with FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. Right now, new customers, you get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 to use on same-game parlays, live bets, championship futures, and a lot more. No better place to bet all the playoff action than America's #1 sportsbook. Just go to FanDuel.com/Dom to get started. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
It's what we were taught, trained, and told to do.
It could be for anything. Helping a friend move.
Listening to a fellow veteran for hours, at any hour of the day.
Or just simply making time for people. A neighbor, a loved one, or even a stranger.
We're often the first to help others. There's no question about it.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
Perhaps it's time to do for yourself what you would do for others.
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-688-6641. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we have absolutely incredible offers and a plethora of both new and certified Volvos from which to choose. We are eager to offer amazingly competitive prices, plus an additional $1,000 Costco discount on all new Cherry Hill Volvos. I am Judith Krepnick, president of Cherry Hill Volvo. Our last new 2023 XC90 T8 is available for purchase, and the savings is huge. Save $12,867 off of the suggested retail.
Lose 20 to 40 plus pounds guaranteed with NJ Diet. NJ Diet uses DNA and blood work to help you lose weight and keep it off. Tune into their radio show Sundays at 2 or visit njdiet.com.
Hi, this is Joe Mederchik, PNC Bank Regional President. Down the corner, around the block, and maybe even in your parking lot, PNC continues to bring banking services closer to your door. Greater Philadelphia is now one of 10 regions where we've permanently introduced the PNC Bank mobile branch. This bank on wheels can be seen rolling up to community organizations across the Delaware Valley. On site and by your side, the PNC mobile branch is part of our commitment to supporting communities that need it most. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
It is a pleasant start to the day with plenty of sunshine, but clouds will build up during the afternoon. Watch out for some scattered showers and storms later during the day with a high 78. Tonight, shower storm this evening, otherwise partly cloudy, low 59. And Thursday, partly sunny and cooler, high 76.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We recently received a call from an injured person. The insurance company had offered them $11,000. We took the case over and got more than $2 million in court. Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and
I
on the
was
free Odyssey
taken
app.
by your smile as we drifted by sea isle. My heart was gone when we reached Avalon.
It's Harry Callis' son singing the pleasures on the road to Cape May, particularly with a big stop in Sea Isle. We have the mayor of Sea Isle here again on the Dom Giordano Show, Lenny Desiderio. He's also a Cape May County commissioner, and he's got one thing, at least, big thing, that he wants to get the legislator to pass to stop some of the nonsense. Let's go to the mayor of Sea Isle City. Mayor, welcome back. Good to talk with you again. Just one beef I have with you. Not enough restaurants per square block in downtown Sea Isle. Got to add more there, Lenny. Got to put at least 2 times. Oh, my God. We went there last year, as you know, with Captain Chucky's, and Roe found a place with a great pina colada. We go down 3 weeks this year. Now it's must stop. At least 2 restaurants in Sea Isle. That's 6 times already.
That's great, Dom. Keep telling your friends that, too, all right, please?
Well, no, you've done
How's everything going? Everything all right?
Yeah, you've done a wonderful job there. It is a jewel, and it's something to be proud of, and we're glad that you are proactive. We played Phil Murphy today, what he said to the news yesterday. But I want to start with you, Len, with one of your proposals that has to deal with the stabbing over in Ocean City. What is the specific thing you want done?
we need some more. We need to have the police become unhandcuffed. What they did was handcuff the police, believe it or not, in 2020 when the former Attorney General made certain laws and certain rules dealing with juveniles. Now, none of us, Dom, want to give a juvenile a record. We don't want to give these kids a record. We want them to go to college. We want them to get good jobs. They don't want to go to college. We want them to get a good job and become law-abiding citizens. But what they did was take some of the powers away from the police, and the pendulum is swinging pretty much in the wrong direction now. So what we've been asking for since 2020, and as County Commissioner Director, I have initiated 4 mayor meetings, roundtables of all the mayors in Cape May County. And we've discussed this topic 6 times. Even though, it was in the off season, we discussed what we need to do. We discussed it. And it's Trenton has given this problem, no matter what anyone says, Trenton has given us this problem.
Well, then, one of the things we're told, too, is the masking thing involved around that stabbing. What are you proposing around that?
Well, I've spoken to a few of my colleagues, and I understand a number of the communities are going to be looking into, you're not allowed to wear these type of masks. So they're going to be looking into it and reporting, what they find and how they're going to be able to enforce that. But I got to tell you, 2 years ago when we had these problems and started, Seattle City was the first community to come out and have a curfew for those under 18 years old, 10 o'clock. Also had a curfew with the backpacks at 10 o'clock. And other municipalities are now following suit. And, we're not claiming that we can solve anything, because any given time, these kids with the social media, they can get people together in a matter of minutes. You can go from 20 kids to 250 kids to 500 in a matter of minutes through social media.
So Lenny, as a mayor then, and with your legal people and solicitors, and I've read this pretty closely, and Ernie Triano's a friend too, what do you instruct your police to do to break up these things when they start? In that, Murphy clearly, and his former Attorney General, the legacy, was basically telling the cops, you got a pretty big felony looking at you if things go the wrong way here.
Yeah, and what he wanted was curbside chats. In Seattle City, a small community, during one summer, we had over 8,000 curbside chats. You know what you could do with those curbside chats, right?
Yeah, you're not that big of a community. That's a lot of curbside chatting.
There's a lot of chatting. You can't call the parents, parents. That's the big thing here. You can't call them. And these kids know what they can get away with. And what they do is they'll give the police wrong information, wrong address where they live, wrong phone number. And they know what they can get away with. The pendulum has to swing back. And like I said, we don't want to give anyone a record. We want them to have a good time. And I'm saying 95% of these kids are great kids. I've walked up on the promenade in Seattle many times, talk with them. You play football. You could just go up to these kids and say, you play football? Yeah, how'd you know? Well, look at the size of you. Or do you wrestle? You can tell. And they're nice. They're nice kids. But there's always 1 or 2 or 5 that got to stir it up. And that's what transpired over the weekend. Cape May County is very, very safe. And we pride ourselves on that. We're very, very safe communities. We want people to come and visit. But if you don't know how to behave, maybe you ought to go somewhere else, and maybe you ought to tell your parents to take you somewhere else.
So, Arlen, in your capacity in the mayor's now, is there going to be a meeting with Phil Murphy or the Attorney General or anything like that because you've been trying to do this for 2-3 years now, and they still have not changed the law enough to reassure cops of what their authority is?
We've been trying to do this, have a meeting with the Attorney General, with someone from the governor's office, for over 4 years since this initiative came down.
Wow.
Because we knew what it was going to do. And we knew it. And we even said it was a suggestion by one of our mayors, Mayor Marty Palugi of Avalon. Let's get it all back to where we were. And if a municipality doesn't feel they want to be part of this, they could opt out of the law in their community, which we felt was really fair. So if a community felt, I don't have this problem, I don't need, this, or I don't really want to pick on people, we're not picking on them, but I don't need these kind of ordinances in our community, they can opt out. We even offered that. Deaf ears.
All right. Well, look, please keep us in the loop, Len, because, again, great shore towns. Every one of them is different. You have these colorful mayors like you, Triano, and the others that really are boosters for their town, and it's just part of the summer that is under siege here a bit. So we'll see you down there in Seattle, though. And
Don, it's going to be a great summer. It's going to be a great summer. That was Memorial Day weekend. There were many, many people here. It's going to be a fabulous summer. Everyone's safe. And I'm just telling everyone, especially the juveniles, don't push us.
Gotcha. Thanks, Len, very much.
Thank you.
All right, Dan, now here again, they're going to have to take some more drastic action here. The guy that gets it is Keith Hartzell, who said we have to do what the whale people did. The whale people have beaten them so far. Imagine this state, though. It's not a big stir. Murphy, they commit $300 million Orsted, right? Orsted's going to give them $125 million back. What kind of deal is that? And now he's going to plunk all down. He's determined to shove it down our throat even more, that he is going to continue to not back the police, and he's going to continue to back the destruction of marine life and our view of the ocean with these ghastly windmills. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. Coming to your call. I see somebody says, well, you're pointing out what Biden can't do. What would Trump do to fix it? Well, Bob, I will explain one thing that would open it up almost instantly. There's no secret sauce, but this is pretty close to it. All right, we're monitoring what's going on, too, with the Trump trial. We'll talk with Lee Zeldin at 2:30 about that and about Biden-Harris wrecking traffic coming to Girard College around now. All that on Talk Radio 1210. But don't miss out on the memorial sale at Rescue Natural Supplements going on right now with prices rising across the country. Rescue is rolling back pricing to the year 2010. Plus, enjoy their fantastic buy 2 bottles, get 1 free, buy 3 bottles, get 2 free memorial deals. Stock up on your favorites. Save big with Rescue rollback pricing, generous free bottle offers, whether you're in need of 1250 omega-3s, cholesterol supporters, probiotics, or natural pain relief. Everything is on sale to order. 800-26-ALIVE. That's 800-262-5483. Speak to a Rescue product consultant or shop online at res-q.com. res-q.com. Don't miss this opportunity for huge savings on over 50 Rescue products to tackle your health goals. Remember, 2010 rollback prices and the memorial deals are going on now through May 30th. Go shop res-q.com, res-q.com.
Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
A $1,000 donation has just been made on behalf of Linda Kearns, bringing our total to $6,305.76.
Jim Kelly, I'm blaming you.
Elvis for a week.
We appreciate this. Keep the donations coming, by the way. Our goal is $20,000, $25, $15, whatever you can do.
Yes.
All the money goes to the families behind the Badge Children's Foundation. Just go to GregSoccerSucks.com.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions.
Attention, anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, or other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-721-4643. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-721-4643 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, or other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-721-4643. 800-721-4643. 800-721-4643.
Hey, Philly, it's Ike Reese. In the city of brotherly love, the only thing we love more than our teams is great savings. And with unlimited welcome from Verizon, you can save big, even if you're on a single line. For a limited time, single lines start at just $50 a month when you bring your own phone. With auto pay plus taxes and fees, that's a savings of $15 a month. And when you switch, now you can save on the things you love, like Netflix and Max, all on the most awarded 5G network. Now that's a real win. There's never been a better time to switch to the network America relies on. But this offer won't last long. Visit your local Verizon store to switch and save big today.
$180 BYOD promo credit and $360 local promo credit applied over 36 months. For new customers with one line on your own 4G, 5G phone on unlimited welcome plan required. Additional terms apply. Auto pay and paper-free billing required. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. $10 a month for each My Plan perk. Additional terms and conditions apply per perk.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Dom Giordano Show. Welcome in, 855-839-1210. So President Biden here in town and Vice President Harris. What a rarity.
Oh, joy.
They couldn't come together, and then we'll be lectured about the environment, pollution, and all the carbon footprints and disrupting the lives of the average person as this goes on.
They didn't carpool?
No, not at all.
No?
And I'm just going to be interested to hear what he says at Girard College, which anybody that's lived in the Philadelphia area, over the years, the battle over Girard College, the history, how iconic it is. I've been there several times. Is he going to do what he did at Morehouse? Tell these poor kids today that country doesn't love you like you love the country. That old tired line. Maybe he's going to tell them he scored 82 touchdowns. He said the other day he was going to the Naval Academy when he was speaking to there, Dan. But Roger Staubach was there, and he didn't like that or something. It's just endless. What can he drop into Girard College today? What will be the faux pas of the day? All right, let's go to Bob in Oakland, New Jersey on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Bob, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dom. I was wondering, since you're an acolyte for Trump, which is fine, I don't have a problem with that, and you can identify all of Biden's miscues around, point and verse. I'd like to know what Trump would do. I never hear anybody on
sure.
On the station.
I'll answer. Well, in broad terms, what Trump would do is what he did prior to the election of 2020. I think things were going tremendously. And, Bob, what he would do, the main thing, and this affects just about everything else, is open up our energy, meaning we were energy independent, which was fabulous at that point. You know what Biden has done on this because of all the pressure he's under from the left, and that really is the thing that cripples just about everything else.
Oh, well, that's one thing. Now,
well, wait a minute, Bob. Though you got to realize. I know it sounds like one thing, but energy costs is the thing that drives up the prices and decisions in just about everything else. It's enormous.
I understand that, but how about the other things? How about the economy? How about what would he do to change the economy? When he left office, there was no pandemic. He left Biden with a massive pandemic to deal with, and Biden has dug out from under it. And
that's not true. Trump is the one.
It is true.
You must remember that Trump is the one that faced that and had to have the drive to get the vaccine over the finish line. I don't know anybody else that would have been able to do that, Bob. So he was.
Right, that's right after he wanted to drink Clorox or have
Okay, so you're acknowledging that he's the one that had to fight the pandemic every bit as much, if not more, than Joe Biden. Why do you think Biden?
No, it hit after he left.
Bob, you really can't. Wait a minute, Bob. So Trump is the one that pushed the vaccine through, but COVID hit after he left.
No. I mean, the major part of COVID hit after he left. He pushed the vaccine through, and all the anti-vaxxers and everything else, all the misstatements, all the quotes. And lastly, Dom, I appreciate listening to you. I listen to you all the time. Lastly, are you prepared that if Trump wins, to deal with a dictator? Because that's what he wants to be.
Okay, well, wait a minute. Why didn't he do that the first time around then, Bob? Think about that.
Because he didn't have the Congress to do it. He didn't have the things to do it. Now that he has lost, he's angry, Dom. He's angry, and he wants to get back at everybody. And the only way he's going to get back at everybody is to take over.
All right, thank you, Bob. Thanks. Look, I appreciate you're trying to be reasonable on this. But the bottom line is
holding a political rival in court.
Yes, he did have the Congress. That's how he passed the tax cuts. That wouldn't have been done if he didn't have the Congress at that point. All right, coming up, Martina White will be here. You've seen all these entitlements, these encampments. We told you the wild stuff at Drexel, for example. There's a bill to remove their money they get to go to college, all the stuff that we're paying for. We'll talk to her about a couple of other things. Lee Zeldin at 2:30 today, here to talk about Biden-Harris in Philadelphia. And guess, column at National Review today says that Prince, Dan, is the one who recognized what Trump was all about, wrote a song about Trump and the color of green, not the color of race. Why is Trump striking fear in the heart of Biden-Harris when it comes to black and Latino voters? Why is that? There's several reasons of why this guy has broken through. It was there all along. But a Mitt Romney would never be able to break through. Almost no Republican could. Why Trump? What is it that breaks through? It's happening. That's why they're here tying up traffic today. 855-839-1210.
You're driving along when you realize...
Oh, I've got to get over. Oh my gosh, sorry!
You didn't see him, did you? He was in your blind spot. You can also have a blind spot when it comes to your retirement. That's where Joe Yakovich of JML Financial Group comes in. He knows about a little blind spot called taxes. Social Security, your pension, your investments, all can be taxable. Look, you don't want to end up saying...
Will I be writing huge checks to the government when I retire?
Don't get blindsided by taxes. Make sure your retirement plan has a tax plan. With one call to JML Financial Group, 856-925-6674. That's 856-925-6674. or at jmlfinancialgroup.com. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, member SIPC. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC is not an affiliated company. JML Financial Group does not offer legal or tax advice. Please consult the appropriate professional regarding your individual circumstance.
This is Bill Hoffman, president of Hoffman's Exterminating. We've been protecting Delaware Valley homes and businesses from pests for 34 years, all while supporting our local community. We also support those who protect us, our veterans. Robert Rutherford, our Director of People and Culture, served 10 years in the U.S. Marine Corps. We at Hoffman's have made a commitment to hire veterans. Our veterans are valued, and the skills they learned in the military are transferable. Join the Hoffman's family and visit us at hoffmansexterminating.com.
Have you questioned your doctor about symptoms like low energy, digestive issues, brain fog, joint pain, just not feeling right, just something is off, and you're only left settling for unanswered questions, or worse, being told it's just because you're getting older? You don't have to settle for unanswered questions any longer. With Younger Me MD's exclusive VIP membership program, aging doesn't have to make you feel older. Their proven 3-step process and functional medicine approach helps you discover the underlying causes of your issues. As a member, you get access to high-level personalized treatment plans, as well as discounts on treatments and supplements. If you're ready to live the life you deserve, it's time to learn about Younger Me MD's VIP membership program. Call 445-266-4024. 445-266-4024. That's 445-266-4024. And schedule your consultation with Younger Me MD.
This is Eileen Canestresi, CEO of Insight PA Cyber Charter School. If you, like many families, are exploring other options for your child's education, consider switching to Insight PA Cyber Charter School. We are an online public school serving students across Pennsylvania and providing individualized, life-ready learning experiences for students from kindergarten through 12th grade. Learn more about how Insight PA can help your family at insightpa.k12.com.
To learn how Insight PA Cyber Charter can set your child up for the future, visit insightpaschool.org.
Ad paid for by AG Marketing Group. Attention timeshare owners. If you need to get rid of your timeshare for any reason, please listen to the following message. Getting out of a timeshare commitment is not easy, and it takes time. But we specialize in helping consumers legally get rid of their expensive timeshares forever. Can't get the vacation dates that work for you? Maybe you felt taken advantage of or forced into the timeshare? Maybe you just can't continue to shoulder those monthly payments any longer. If you need to eliminate your timeshare commitment, then you need to take down this number, 800-866-7061. We will safely and legally get rid of your timeshare payments forever, all with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Don't continue to let your timeshare be a financial burden to you and your loved ones. Call us now at 800-866-7061. The call is free, the consultation is free. Call 800-866-7061. That's 800-866-7061. Again, 800-866-7061.
On Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time. So President Biden should be speaking during the show over at Girard College. We'll try to bring you either some sound of that or at least some breakdown of it. But, you know, these are poor kids going to a boarding school, giving them a good education. And Biden and Kamala Harris and any other big-time Democrat, they don't want to do that. And they want to tell you they do want to do it, that I'm making it up, because they want to put more money into better public schools. You can give Philadelphia $10 billion right now, and it might make around the edge some rounding number of a difference. But it's not going to change, and that's from somebody who's been in the trenches, taught in the Philadelphia public schools, taught in Camden, taught in Darby Township, among others, and I know what happens there. Yeah, money is not something that is unhelpful, but it's not going to get it. What's going to get it is choice in schools that have to remain in business because parents want to send their kids there. They're in opposition to that, and they always will be, because that's the secret sauce that would unleash a lot of things. So I mentioned the contrast with what Biden is going to say today at Girard College and what Trump did in the South Bronx. And you look, Trump's got to be distracted by the trial and everything else, but if he could just get to that template, what he did in the South Bronx, the things that he talked about as far as opportunity, jobs, the American dream in his own way, which is distinct. Not the grievance, not 2020, not any of that stuff. That was a magical moment. That was one of the best moments of Trump that I've seen. And producing that again and again and again, it's clear. If the polling is off by a point or two, who knows? It's clear, though, he has struck fear in them. That's why they're coming here today to relaunch, in their words, these African Americans for Biden, Harris, and the like. Okay? How has he broken through? Well, it's a persona that's different, a different sort of Republican, the points of emphasis, and they're scared to death of this. Because if they can't get 92, 93%, something like that, or more, of African-American voters, and even more importantly, turning out African-American voters, it's not just the percentage, it's the number of people that ultimately even show up and vote. They're in big trouble in places like Pennsylvania. We told you, leading off the show today, and we're trying to get Scott Presler on, that Bucks County is closer to being red in registration. Democrats were ahead some time ago, not too long ago, by about 9,000 registration. Now, just in the last week, that's gone down 200 more, and it's only 1,222 away from being declared red. And you got to understand the symbolism of that, of what that says to people about what's happening. And it's kind of viral, how that moves forward. So I expect today we're going to hear the same scare tactics, the same failed tactics that Biden always uses. He's one of the worst in history. Trump just has to do what he did in the South Bronx. And here's a case in point. Do I think Joe Biden is evil? You know, using language like this. This is ridiculous. I think he's stupid, and I'm not saying that just to be. I really do. I think this guy has gotten farther with less intelligence than almost anybody we've seen in big-time politics. I think he is not a civil, kind person and all that nonsense. I think he's selfish beyond belief with the Beau Biden stuff and wanting to be a great president by just spending wildly. But Dr. Jill Biden, she tells us on The View, it's going to be down to two. Americans are going to pay attention. And they're going to make a clear choice. They're going to choose good. I want to know who's good here, Dr. Jill. Is it you? Is it your husband is good? And they're going to choose good over evil. Here's Dr. Jill.
Dr. Biden, I've raised alarm bells among other Republicans about the danger of a second Donald Trump term, and I'm genuinely fearful for what that could look like. But consistently, we're seeing poll after poll that are showing Trump beating your husband outside of the margin of error, when in fact last time in 2020, Joe Biden was beating him in nearly every poll. How do you turn those numbers around with 5 months out, and are you fearful of what a second Trump term could look like?
Or a third, as Donald Trump says. So
hold up with that for a minute,
we are going to meet people.
That is supposed to be the counter voice on The View. That's the alleged Republican there asking that. My God. You know, just for their own, call me crazy, but I think I know how this should go to get more people to watch you or listen to you. There ought to be somebody on there that pushes back on these things versus somebody who is a dedicated Trump hater, and that's why she's on there. That's the alleged Republican on The View. How in the world...
Isn't Anna Navarro an alleged Republican, too?
Yeah, that's right. Republican strategist Anna
that.
Navarro. These are the Republicans they put up there. One of the reasons is they crumple. When Condoleezza Rice was on, they just crumpled, not even like cheap suits, like bad plastic surgery and Joy Behar. That's what it was like with Condoleezza Rice.
Well, I think there's worse examples of bad plastic surgery than Joy Behar.
Who are you referring to?
I mean, has she had much plastic surgery, Joy?
I just thought I thought I'd throw in a shot there. Yes. All right. Let's hear a little bit more now the response of the esteemed doctor.
We are going to meet people where they are. We're going to go to college campuses. We're going to go to just every state that we can get into. I've been traveling every single day. Joe has been traveling as much as possible. And we're not going to take anything for granted. And those polls are going to turn, I'm confident of it, because as time goes on and as people start to focus a little bit more about what's at stake and start to become educated on the issues and the differences between the two men, I believe that Americans are going to choose good over evil. Yes.
All right, and we're supposed to just say, they're dealing the good versus evil. We're supposed to just say, hey, you guys are out of order here with all this stuff that you're doing. You know what? They want a street fight on this. Good, bring it on. Let's see if if you want to do this good versus evil, why do we need all these rules in the debate? Can't good win there? Can't we? Oh, no, Trump will overtalk him. Trump won't shut up and all that. We need the guardrails. And yet this man is going to come with a bunch of poor black kids today to Girard College, and he's going to rail about how America is still racist. That's exactly what he's going to do. That's what he did at Morehouse, a super private school to African-American students. That's what he always does. And Trump and Republicans are the ones that are keeping you down. They're going to put you back in chains. And we're evil. How did Trump draw those people in South Bronx if he's evil?
They're going to put you all back in chains.
So columnist today, Armand White at National Review, an ingenious Prince deep cut predicted the South Bronx speech. Can we take 6 minutes to talk about success? That question asked by President Trump during last week's historic South Bronx rally struck an apolitical nerve, but it revived an important cultural memory. And then the guy talks about this Prince song and how Democrats historically have taken the black and Latino vote for granted. We know that. We say it every election. Why is Trump the one breaking through? I mean, Republicans have said all kinds of things before: school choice, zones, enterprise zones. And these are things that are good. They have talked about being taken for granted and what Democrats do. So why in the world can't you connect? Because to break through the inertia, what's been there for years, back to Lyndon Johnson, et cetera, it needs something fresh. And Trump is a one-of-a-kind, bold success. And that style has broken through in his own way, and it scares him. Because, again, if he can get 20% of African-American voters, that is going to be a tremendous, tremendous breakthrough. All right, is that the song, Dan, or what's it? Yeah. Maybe that's what you need. A man that fulfills your every wish, your every dream. Donald Trump, black version. Come on, take a chance. A 1990s love affair. The real romance. So I don't know why Trump was so much on Prince's radar screen, Dan, that he dedicated that song.
1990.
1990.
And Prince wrote it and produced it at the time.
Right.
A very offshoot kind of irrelevant R&B band is the one that recorded this.
That's what it is. Yeah. This guy's on to something at National Review. Mitt Romney can't go. Mitt Romney in the South Bronx. Oh, my God. You know, he couldn't go to a Wawa. He kept on calling it Wawas. You can't send somebody like that there. How is Trump able to do that? Well, that's the secret sauce. That's the persona. That's what they're afraid of. Now, why is that so revolting to these suburban mamas, though, is another story. But that's why Biden's here today. That's why we have the relaunch. That's why Kamala Harris, this is rare for the two of them to be coming together in this manner. And I'm just sad that Girard College becomes, Dave, I really, Dan, you know Dave Hardy. I really love the guy, what he's done. We'll try to get him on tomorrow after this. Hard to turn down a visit by the President of the United States for a school, I'm sure he'll say, to put them on the map. But I think they're being used today, predictably, by what Biden does. So for as long as I've been doing talk radio, people would call in, why do people vote this way? They're taken for granted. These Democrat politicians, you look around, nothing has changed. Why does this guy break through? Well, that's the elements of Trump that make him frightening to the other side. And I think the polling is essentially correct. Who knows if it's exactly on point? And if that holds, we're going to win Pennsylvania. We're going to win the presidency. So what are they going to counter with? What are they going to tell African Americans? They're going back to the Central Park 5 and stuff like that. That's how far back. That's what they have to go to try to dislodge this. But what happened in the South Bronx? All Trump has to do is do more of that versus the grievance stuff. And things will be fine. All right, 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All we need you to do is push pound 1210. Don't forget the side question. Simple one today. Julia Childs. We played you this national, the French dish. I'm not going to pronounce it.
What is it, Don? Come on.
Coq au vin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Coq au vin.
You can't beat her. Somebody lovable. George Bailey was a good one. Real or fictional? Somebody lovable that people just can't get enough. And it almost has to be universal, that you don't have hatred at the same time. Some people love, some people
Can I take one
hate.
off the board?
Yeah, go right ahead.
How about a Forrest Gump?
Yes,
Is there
Forrest
anyone
Gump.
that dislikes Forrest Gump?
Oh, those people sitting on the park bench, right? Breaking down in tears when the guy, there'll be another bus coming. They let him tell more of the story. That's all I have to say about that. Oh, my God. Whoever wrote those lines, yeah.
It's a great impression there, Dom.
Yeah, that line gets me. Hey, the jury deliberation that Fox has up now, it's an hour, 45 minutes, and 16 seconds. I've seen people predict this could take weeks. I don't think so. I think the pressure will be to get this done by the weekend. Coming up, though, Dan, I did a national show last night, and I had an attorney on. I think I stunned him when I brought up the Allen charge. I was pretty proud of this. This guy's a big-time trial attorney, what he said to me about it. And I don't think he was ribbing me. I thought he was being serious. I've had mixed reaction to the legal, the moot court thing. Some of these people sniff when I say that. I'm a big-time attorney, and this guy in Philadelphia is telling me about moot court.
Well, you have a ton of experience on air arguing with people, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That should count for something.
Yeah, it sure does in a court of public opinion.
You know, and it should give you some kind of passage of the bar exam and certificate.
You know
of
what? That's
lawyer
right.
and
Get Linda Kearns working on that. All right. 855-839-1210. You jump in now. Hit us with that. Martina White, one of our favorites, at 1:30 with a lot of stuff. And we'll talk with Lee Zeldin. Remember, he did very well against Kathy Hochul, running for governor. Was attacked, guy with a knife in the cornfield there. He wants to counter what we're hearing here from Biden. We have a bunch of anti-Trump tweets that I'll respond to.
Yeah, a lot of things to answer to from this Femin individual on Twitter.
Who is it, Dan?
Femin. P.S. You are wrong. Sent a flurry of tweets responding to your last call with the last listener.
Oh, with Bob. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's all straight ahead on Talk Radio 1210.
Hey, it's Nick. Join me for WPHT's Veteran Spotlight, a program where we shine a spotlight on one outstanding local veteran in partnership with the Travis Manion Foundation, celebrating their remarkable commitment to community service and their exceptional service in the military. On Wednesday morning, June 5th, we honor Dale Wetherell, United States Marine Corps veteran, for his service and his exemplary contribution to the veteran community. Presented by Window Nation. For all of your window and door needs, visit windownation.com.
Countless financial firms have promised the security and peace of mind that comes only with a crash-proof retirement, but those imitators never last. Only Crash-Proof Retirement can guarantee market-like returns credited as interest with no market risk or fees in a legally binding, recorded financial meeting.
Janice Barbero, Fogelsville, Pennsylvania. With Crash Proof, we don't have to worry about making up any money that we've lost. So if the market goes down, we don't worry. And that interest that we made the year before, that never goes away. I do think Crash Proof Retirement's original. They're the real deal. I don't think anybody else could give that kind of service.
Crash-Proof Retirement is the only firm in the country willing to make all promises and guarantees legally binding by recording all financial meetings. Schedule an appointment or register for the next Crash-Proof Retirement educational event at the William Penn Inn on Tuesday, June 11th. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Hi, everyone. Matt here from Emmons Roofing and Siding. There are a lot of companies out there that say they do roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Some good, some not so good. Be careful of those that say buy two, get two free. Does that really make sense? Think about it. At Emmons, we don't offer gimmicks, just quality products installed by our experienced craftsmen. We do offer 12 months, same as cash financing, though. That's not a gimmick. That's because we know how tough it is for some people right now to get these projects done. If you need roofing, siding, or windows and doors, call us for a free estimate today at 856-885-6677 or visit us at callemmons.com.
Cancer, a scary word, but not so scary if you have the right team. Hi, this is John DeMasi, host of Health Watch, Sundays at 8 and again at 4 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. And that team is Dr. Molly Fantasia and the medical staff at Innovative Medical Associates. Yes, cancer is a scary word and a difficult condition if you've been diagnosed. Over the years, the staff at Innovative Medical Associates has helped hundreds of patients with their unique medical hydration protocols. Cancer support is a large part of the practice at Innovative Medical Associates.
We believe in medical hydration. We've improved it so much that we are able to help people across the board with challenges before they become chronic.
Talk about improving your quality of life. Most likely, that'll happen when you visit Innovative Medical Associates. Check them out on the web at innovativemedicalassociates.com or call 856-489-0505 to schedule your initial complimentary consultation.
Have you been thinking about doing a Roth conversion, but the upfront taxes are holding you back? Welcome to Rothright. We can show you how to significantly reduce taxes on a conversion, potentially saving hundreds of thousands, even millions in taxes over your lifetime. A Roth conversion will give you tax-free income, eliminate required minimum distributions, and leave a tax-free estate to your heirs. Sign up for a free educational seminar now. Call 855-415-ROTH. That's 855-415-ROTH. Rothright is not a financial advisory firm. Consult with a tax professional before making any financial decisions.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? Do it today at 1210 WPHT.
I notice you no longer say formerly known as Twitter. We've graduated to full X.
Oh my God, that guy. Is there anything just more bizarre than Phil Murphy sitting there with the hair? I would just be fixated on the hair and have to say, oh, I wish I had a head of hair like that. How much did that cost? Well, Miss Kim charges about $20. All right, so
that's cheap, man.
We got somebody going wild on Twitter.
Yeah.
We need some responses to these things. They don't like the Trump secret sauce.
Yeah.
And you got to say there is a secret sauce out there. How is it, not with white voters, how do you explain Biden and Harris have to come to Philadelphia today to relaunch? The vote is so tepid. Trump is doing so well with African-American Latino voters. Why is that versus other Republicans? Because for years people have been saying, you're taken for granted, then the same thing happens. You have people voting for Democrats up and down the line, or sometimes not voting, but they never vote for Republicans. Dan, Mitt Romney in some wards in Philadelphia, we could Google how many, against Obama in 2012, had 0 people voting for him. Now, it's possible, but it's almost a statistical, it's a miracle. You know, these are fairly big voting blocks to have a 0, not just in one spot, but in a number of them. And, you know, everybody says Mitt Romney is a stand-up guy, he's a nice guy and all this. Trump is going to do in the same wards astronomically better. Why? All right, read me some of these critical tweets.
Well, first off, secret sauce, man. You love Trump's secret sauce, which is just old-fashioned chauvinism.
All right, so why would chauvinist? She must be attacking women. Oh, I guess she's attacking black men. She's saying black men are chauvinist. They like that Trump is a chauvinist. And that's what the appeal is, right? That's what I take from that.
Yeah, apparently. How about I just listened to your propaganda. Should be ashamed of yourself spewing lies to your listeners. What's wrong with you, Dom?
I plead insanity. I've been here in Philadelphia too long. Yes.
How many other disgusting non-disclosure agreements are there? What else did Trump do? Americans demand answers.
He could have 100. Let's break that down, too. Let's throw evangelicals into it. They've already made their decision on this. Not saying Trump is a good moral character. They like his policies. They like what he'll do for the country. He could have 100 non-disclosure agreements. In fact, Dan, I think most people that worked around him signed non-disclosures. It's a tool that a lot of people use. It's not illegal. There's nothing wrong with it. So what's the point of the non-disclosure with Stormy Daniels or anybody else?
Speak to this one, because a lot of people in South Jersey, especially someone I'm very close with, who I had a very passionate argument with over this, still holds this very valuable, and they think Trump is purely evil and would vote for Biden because of this. Who does Trump blame for bankrupting the Atlantic City casinos? Who does he blame for not paying anyone? And a lot of people think he's purely evil just based on his stance on Atlantic City and all still.
All right, so what's the beef here that he didn't?
That he didn't pay off contractors, and he treats people like crap, and he's just not a good human, and he doesn't belong to lead the country because of that.
There is some evidence of that. I'd have to concede some small contractors and all that. And again, people look at this. They look at the totality of this. They're not endorsing Trump in that manner. Is there anybody worse than the Bidens for cheesiness, making the Secret Service, taking their underwear on their tax things to lower their taxes? I can't defend that. What was your defense?
My defense was, and I can't defend it either, he did treat people like crap in Atlantic City. But the thing is, what he did in treating people like crap is he furthered his own organization, his corporation. I think that's terrible in the grand scheme of things. But when it comes to leading a country and you have a guy sitting in office who treats foreign affairs like, I want to be buddy-buddy with everybody. And even Hamas I'm trying to, appeal to. I'd rather have a guy treat Hamas like crap. I'd rather have someone treat what's going on in Ukraine, Russia a little bit differently, or North Korean dictator the way he treated contractors in Atlantic City. That's what I want from a leader. I want somebody who's going to work for America first, the way that Trump worked for his corporation first. And I'm sorry if that's a bad thing to say. But
I would rather have somebody who treated those people well, but is ruthless in dealing with our enemies.
100%.
But the Bidens have this is the thing that bothers me the most. You and I just didn't do the hack route. We said, no, there's no defense of parts of this with Trump. There's not. You're crazy if you want to defend that. I'm not going to. But how does Biden have this record of this decent man when he uses his son shamelessly, the showers with the daughter, the son whose trial starts next week? How do the Bidens, and do you hear Dr. Jill Biden, just the articulation, Dan, does that sound like someone nuanced and educated? No, it does not. It sounds like she belongs on The View. So I'm not defending that. We've been through this a number of times with any of the flaws of Trump. It's the policies, it's the things that have moved America, and the evidence that's already there about what he did. Particularly when you look at the other side and you see all the baggage there too, including the dementia and the inability to carry any kind of articulation or thought. All right, thank you. Glad Phil Murphy. Keep that, Phil Murphy telling us. Glad to see you're calling it X now.
I notice you no longer say formerly known as Twitter. We've graduated to full X.
I got to watch that show with the governor more. Maybe call in. Hey, it's Dom from South Jersey.
Trying so hard to be relatable.
I want to know about the hair. 855-839-1210. You get on board. Hit us with somebody lovable. Somebody said Mother Teresa on Twitter because Trump said Mother Teresa couldn't beat these charges today. I don't think people saw Mother Teresa, Dan, as lovable. She was under attack a lot. I just think she's one of the greatest people that has ever lived, but I wouldn't say she's lovable. I don't think you want to get on the wrong side of Mother Teresa from what we can tell. She was going to make things happen. It wasn't a warm and fuzzy. You know what I mean? But if you are bathing lepers, I don't have too much to argue with you about. Right. I don't think too many people are going to do that. And when your first name is Mother Teresa, that's pretty good. 855-839-1210. Let's go to Chris in Philly on Talk Radio 1210. Afternoon, Chris.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
I'm going to go a little outside the box, and this is probably going to go over like a bunch of people's heads. But I want to say Ashley Eckstein. She's the voice actor of Ahsoka in Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the animated series. But I've met her a few times at Comic-Cons, and every time I've met her, she takes all the time in the world just to talk to you, and she donates to so many charities and everything.
That's a great answer.
That's a great answer. And, let me make this point on that, Chris. That is a really good answer when you take the time with people. The Kelseys were in this tiff, Dan, that's gone public here. I don't know if you saw it in Sea Isle, where this person just wanted to take a picture with them and kept on insisting.
Yeah.
Two thoughts about that. You got to let people alone to enjoy themselves a bit. But I don't know why you wouldn't take the picture, too. I don't know how obnoxious they were. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and this is like someone that's kind of on their own time. They're not at a convention like Ashley is.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Like, you got to kind of lay off a little bit.
But I would say the thing that endears celebrity is when they take time, to your point, Chris, and that's why I think this is a great one, and they actually, go for it, particularly if they're a major celebrity and they do it. It's endearing. It really is.
Who's the person that you think of that you're talking about?
That does that?
William Shatner.
Oh, God,
I think Shatner,
yes.
bar none, is
Yeah,
that guy.
Shatner. I think Trump, from what I can tell, Dan, does a good bit of this.
Yeah.
That's a very human side.
Great answer, Chris.
Chris, that's a great answer. Thank you.
Rock and roll, guys.
All right. I love Chris. I think Chris is one of the regular YouTubers, so thanks for ringing in.
Oh, thank you for ringing in.
Yeah, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. Please go like and subscribe.
But with the Kelsey thing, now this woman, Dan, who wanted the picture, right? You're not welcome in Seattle anymore. Don't try to come back to this town. This is public harassment now. I think Jason Kelsey has been more than generous with the amount of time and the stuff he does for various charities, et cetera. I would say take the picture, though. I don't know if there was just an obnoxiousness with it, and move on if you can, if you're not just really late or something like that. So when people do that, though, that are very public figures, Shatner's a good one, it is incredibly endearing. It doesn't take a lot to do it, too, many times. All right, 855-839-1210. I haven't talked to State Representative Martina White. She's up next. I want to ask her about the president's visit, but first, her bill that would actually push back against these people that really are out of control on college campuses, the encampments and the like. We'll talk with her. 855-839-1210. The NBA playoffs have tipped off, but it's not too late to get in on the action with FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 to use on same-game parlays, live bets, championship futures, and a lot more. And no better place to bet all that playoff action than with America's #1 sportsbook. Just go to FanDuel.com/DOM, D-O-M, to get started. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. You have to be 21 plus and present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
Ad paid for by AG Marketing Group. Attention timeshare owners. If you need to get rid of your timeshare for any reason, please listen to the following message. Getting out of a timeshare commitment is not easy, and it takes time. But we specialize in helping consumers legally get rid of their expensive timeshares forever. Can't get the vacation dates that work for you? Maybe you felt taken advantage of or forced into the timeshare? Maybe you just can't continue to shoulder those monthly payments any longer. If you need to eliminate your timeshare commitment, then you need to take down this number, 800-866-7061. We will safely and legally get rid of your timeshare payments forever, all with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Don't continue to let your timeshare be a financial burden to you and your loved ones. Call us now at 800-866-7061. The call is free. The consultation is free. Call 800-866-7061. That's 800-866-7061. Again,
800-866-7061. Weather sponsored by Express Employment Professionals.
It is a pleasant start to the day with plenty of sunshine, but clouds will build up during the afternoon. Watch out for some scattered showers and storms later during the day with a high 78. Tonight, a shower storm this evening, otherwise partly cloudy, low 59. And Thursday, partly sunny and cooler, high 76.
If you're ready for a new job, let Express Employment Professionals help you. Express is your one connection for a summer job in a variety of industries. Job seekers never pay a fee at Express. Go to expresspros.com to find your location. That's expresspros.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/250. Ramp.com/250. RAMP.com/250.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
For a complete list of Talk Radio 1210 WPHT's contest rules, go to 1210WPHT.com/rules.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and on the free Odyssey app.
All right, there's a reason you're playing that song, Dan. Dom Giordano's show. Why would that be?
Yeah, YouGov.com actually tracks the most popular musicians, contemporary actors, actresses, based by generation. And if you sort by popularity for baby boomers above Dolly Parton leads the category in all 3, millennials, Gen X, and baby boomers. While besides baby boomers, she falls to number 2, besides none other than the Supremes, who are genuinely loved more by the baby boomer generation.
All right, I could see that. Well, we love having on State Representative Martina White, new bill to try to do something, some kind of accountability for what's going on college campuses. But Martina has been second to none in school choice related things, which might have a shot. Lifeline scholarships, I think they're called. What a day to have her. We were going to talk with her about the other thing because not too far from where we are, President Biden, Girard College, is going to come here and talk about African Americans and opportunity and moving forward. How can you do that when you don't have choice? Let's go to State Representative Martina White. Martina, welcome back. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Dom. Thanks for having me. It's very interesting that you were just mentioning that the president is in town, and you're right. School choice is certainly can solve a lot of the problems facing all Philadelphians, but in particular the Black community here.
Yeah, and again, coming to, and you know this as a true Philadelphian, the history of Girard College and all that, and predictably, we think he's going to say what he said at Morehouse about discrimination and all those things, and yet he and the vice president have to be, maybe in their heart they are too, enemies of any kind of school choice because they're going to side with the teachers' unions over the parents. Martina, do you see in your conversations with Democrats in Harrisburg, we know people like Eamon Brown and some others are on board. Do these people really believe this is the wrong course of action? What Shapiro, I think, in his heart is on board with, it seems. Or is it the pressure is just so much from teachers' unions and progressives?
So I think that Biden is stuck in just the classical ways of radical Democrat leftists. You know, they, I think that they are more or less pandering, which is really a shame because in Philadelphia, like, there are a lot of families who actually need the help and support that can come from getting students a better quality education. It actually is one of the most beneficial ways to help reduce crime is to have a high quality educational resource available to you as a young person. So the Lifeline scholarships that we've been advocating for and that the governor apparently is supportive of some form of program like it, you know, that could give students a tremendous opportunity. They would get access to state dollars that they can take to any school of their choice that works best for their educational needs. So by doing that, we can literally change the lives of children all across Pennsylvania, but in particular in underserved populations here in Philadelphia. And for the president to just ignore that fact is despicable. And I think it just goes to show you that this isn't, you know, something that's new to us. This is something he's been doing, right? Like he's blocked 30,000 jobs from being created here in southeastern Pennsylvania by halting LNG export permits. So, you know, he doesn't care about Pennsylvania. Why he's coming here, I guess it's to see if he can drum up some support before November, but I don't think people are falling for it anymore. They want real action. They want real solutions, and the Democrat Party is not providing them at all.
Yeah, exactly. And again, the whatever that secret sauce with President Trump is, the South Bronx, this is a different sort of Republican persona. The upside, he's breaking through, particularly with African-American males, what you and others have been talking about for years, Democrat Party taking people for granted. We're seeing some breaking, and that's all that you need is a little bit of that. And Martina, the thing I like about the school choice thing, in addition to the kids, it empowers parental rights. These parents know better for their kid. I don't care if they're uneducated or whatever. They know their kid. They want the best for their kid more than any organization could be. It's the parent that wants that.
100%, Dom. School choice is what provides parents the ultimate opportunity for their child to go to the school of their choice that they know will benefit their child the best and give them the, you know, the best chance for reaching their full potential in life. And so that's why I'm a huge proponent of it. And I think that the Democrats' policy of leaving kids trapped in failing schools hasn't worked. It's still not working, and we need real change here in Pennsylvania. And I know we can do it. Especially because there's a lot of Democrats, like you shared, other state electeds. Senator Anthony Williams, for years, has been a supporter of school choice, highly passionate. Amen Brown, and obviously the governor here. So for the president to come in here and kind of talk poorly about that, that would be a very grave, I think, thing for him to do.
Bingo, too. I was wondering why Josh Shapiro, look, he may have something important today. He's not going to be there. I think the lieutenant governor, and again, to be with the president in Philadelphia in a situation like this, I think he would be there. But what Biden's going to say and what Biden's about is a little much different than, at least on paper, what Josh Shapiro says.
Yeah, Dom, that's true. I mean, why would a governor who has positive name ID across the state want to affiliate himself with a president who has declining numbers? That doesn't make any political sense in my personal opinion. But I think there's a lot of factors at play, and one of which is that the president hasn't addressed the issues of Philadelphia communities, including the African-American community, Hispanic community. Here in Northeast Philadelphia, there's a lot of Caucasian families. I mean, we're all suffering from what inevitably has been Biden's policies, and we've had a 30% increase in food prices. When you go to the gas pump to fuel up, everything's expensive. Energy costs are up. I mean, it's just like we're getting body slammed, and everyday people that are middle-class families are trying to get by, and the people who are already in poverty, I mean, imagine what those families are going through in the city.
Now, on the other hand, and I saw a study the other day about many of these encampments and stuff going on, and this was from a liberal publication that said a great deal of them are people on these college campuses that are more elite. But what are you trying to do to bring some accountability to the stuff that's been going on?
Yeah, so, we know that the Democrat radicals of the left are putting criminals first and victims last. They've done this. We've seen this over the past several years, and they're doing it again, right? There's these pro or anti-Israel protesters on college campuses, and what the legislators, myself and Kristen Marcel out of Bucks County area, have put forward are two pieces of legislation. What we saw on these campuses were just maddening. They went and are basically verbally attacking Jewish students, and I think that there's even been concerns around them attacking law enforcement officers when they were trying to be disbanded. So, what we're trying to do is make sure that any students who are convicted of ethnic intimidation, institutional vandalism, desecration, theft, sale of venerated objects, or institutional trespassing from being able to receive FIA grants. So that's what my bill would do. And then Kristen Marcel's bill, it basically is a complementary piece to mine. It creates a new crime of actual institutional trespass, specifically targeting unlawful entry into sensitive areas like houses of worship, cemeteries, and schools. And I know vandalism is already penalized, but this definitely is a bill that will be helpful because merely trespassing in these sacred institutions isn't something that should go unnoticed, and it needs to have additional protections in place.
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully there are a few Democrats in the Senate. I think something like that would pass. How about in the House?
Yeah, apparently a lot of reporters have been asking their leadership team, I think Matt Bradford was one of them, if they would consider these pieces of legislation. It sounded like once the language has been introduced that he may be willing to consider it. But I actually don't know how many of their legislators on their side of the aisle would actually support it. I mean, we saw Rep. Krajewski actually, according to, I guess it was the Washington Examiner, he was one of the people who warned the protesters that the police would be coming onto the campus within the next 24 hours. And there's supposedly text messages to that effect. So I imagine that will be, the radical left Democrats out in Harrisburg who will, just probably vote against these types of bills.
Well, at least we have you on the front lines. And Martina, I think it sounds to me, though, like Lifeline Scholarships is going to make it through this time. And I think you deserve a lot of credit on that. It would be revolutionary. It would be arguably the greatest good that legislators can do toward families and their kids.
Thank you so much, Dom. Yeah, we are so excited this year. We had a lot of progress last year, but I think this could be our time, and we just have to keep advocating and keep pushing and encourage constituents out there, citizens, give your legislators a call and encourage them to be supportive because now is the time. June is when all of the negotiations take place before the budget's due on June 30th, and I just want to encourage you guys. We could really use all of the support to call up your legislator.
Thank you, Martina. We'll keep on this. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Take care, guys.
All right, Dan, coming up, one of my greatest sources, a cop source, but it's way beyond just cop issues. Wait until you hear who just sent out a directive to have people oppose Lifeline scholarships, vouchers in any form. Yep, it's an old suspect. It's got some letters. It begins with an A. There's a C in there. It ends in an O. That's all I'm going to say here. Wheel of Fortune, you spin it home.
This is really tough. I'm trying to figure it out.
I'll tell you who it is. Think the Union Way. That's straight ahead.
In the butt?
Yeah, phone lines are.
That was earlier this week.
855, that's right, the bite in the butt. Pat Sajak's having a rough, I think he's only got a couple weeks left of this. 855-839-1210, you get in.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Your radio doctor is sponsoring Diapers for Darlings, inviting you to donate disposable diapers for needy mothers. Visit yougivegoods.com. All donations go to Catholic Social Services, but be assured diapers go to moms of all faiths. What they share is the need for our help, so they could comfort their new little angels, because every life is precious. Visit yougivegoods.com and search Diapers for Darlings.
Hello, Saver. Whether you're saving for that trip to the tropics or saving for an emergency, now is the time to take advantage of Wells Fargo's savings options. Wells Fargo offers savings accounts that can help you save towards your goals. So, what are you saving for? Visit a Wells Fargo branch or wellsfargo.com/save to open a savings account today.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Hey, this is Mike Quick. If you're in the restaurant, hospitality, or casino business and your point of sale system isn't helping you sell more, earn more, or work less, you need to talk to my friends at PDQ Signature Systems. PDQ has everything you need for success. PDQ POS is the fastest, easiest, and most reliable POS system available. Whether you have a single location restaurant or thousands of locations, Joe Flynn and his team will create a custom game plan that will help your business succeed. Visit PDQPOS.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-688-6641. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You're in hot water, mister.
What'd I do?
I told you months ago our utility bills were getting higher because of that old outdated tank water heater.
Maybe it's time we finally switch to a Navien tankless.
Learn about Navient's high-efficiency tankless water heaters, endless hot water, all while helping you save on your energy costs.
Hey, look at this. Our utility bill is lower since we got the Navien tankless water heater.
Who's in hot water now?
We are, all the time.
Learn more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Yo, Roy is Ford. What? We know your favorite station is 1210 WPHT. WPHT.
All right, it is Dom time. So President Biden's late. What else is usual? A fair-sized crowd apparently over at Girard College, and a birdie flew into my window and sent me this. And again, as I understand the AFL-CIO, there are a lot of union people that want their kids to get a good education. Maybe the Catholic schools. They just set out a directive attacking vouchers. The AFL-CIO, the unions again. You're the most powerful person to convince your representatives to oppose school vouchers. Vouchers would just make the severe underfunding of Pennsylvania public schools even worse. So your kid has to be held hostage because you're a parent that wants better for them to send them somewhere else. You had to be kept with those who apparently don't know what they're doing or don't care, and they're willing to let their kids rot in these public schools. So you're not going to be allowed to go. And if you're a union member, how many times are these unions? I'm sick and tired of people telling me, well, we don't think that way. It's the leadership. It's somebody's voting for them. Who's voting for these people? You have the guy of the UAW, who a big quack of his union now are these various college administrators and the like, and they've gone completely radical. Well, as long as we don't care about the country. How is it that unions are telling people, the AFL-CIO, the biggie, the biggest, right? You got to be out there screaming against vouchers. You got to be against poor kids, black kids, Latino kids, Catholic schools. You got to be against all that because the public schools will fail if this goes through. You mean to say the public schools in the big cities have already not been incredibly miserable failures? Some of it is due to the politics of the big cities, the restraints, the progressives, the stuff they put into it. It will fail. It will fail again, and it will continue to fail. How many times have we seen it play out that way? So if you support public schools, you think this is great for democracy and all that nonsense, go right ahead. Why hold these other people captive? Particularly when you have a flourishing Catholic school system and a lot of private schools of all kinds of sorts that people need just a little bit of help to get to go there. So, Dan, you invite David Hardy on tomorrow. I mean, I think what he'll say, he's the head now of Girard College. Well, you got to let the president come here and talk. I hear you, puts him on the map again. But what is he going to say about this? He is the enemy, in my view, and so is Harris, and so is every big-time Democrat of poor kids.
Maybe I have a preview?
Yes.
Here you go. This is from 4 years ago, Dom.
We should challenge students in these schools to have advanced placement programs in these schools. We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids, wealthy kids, black kids. Asian kids.
Stupid.
I really mean it, but think how we
I
think
got to
about
say, it goes to that stupid idiot, the usual idiocy. So, but the bottom line is this, they are the enemy. Now, you heard Martina White, I think for his own benefit, Josh Shapiro this time is going to try to push this through. And we're right on the cusp. June is when all this stuff happens. What would happen is this would strike a blow against the teachers' unions, the AFL-CIOs of the world, the National Democrat Party, the Randy Weingardens, who want us to believe if you let parents make a choice. You know, and I'm so tired, it's worn out over the years of your silly arguments against this. Line them all up. I don't know how many we fit in this studio, and they can all yell at once. And I'll wear a blindfold or something, and my hands behind my back, as we'll parry these with one simple thing. Parents know what's best for their kids. You know it, and I know it. These schools are never going to work, given the underpinnings of it. They just won't. It's a monopoly. You have too many discipline problems that nobody's allowed to do anything. I tell you, from someone who was on the front lines, you're worn out by the discipline problems. You know how few gifted and talented programs are in schools? You know why they're not there? Do you know about the parents over in Masterman, which was rated #1 some years, complaining? Because now you're having people get into Masterman that have special ed, learning disability, not just learning disabilities, but inability, their poor test scores and everything else. They have to be put into repetitive classes. Why are they at Masterman? Well, that's equity. That's progressives. That's what they accomplish. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. You get on board.
All right, it's been 25 minutes. No Joe Biden.
All right. I'm sure he's warming up a great speech.
Why not just announce that you're coming out at 2?
Yeah, he's conferring with Dr. Jill Biden. By the way, National Institutes of Health accused of conspiracy to hide all those COVID emails. That's heating up, and we'll have to get Rand Paul on the show to break that down. 855-839-1210. Let's talk Captain Chucky's, though. Father's Day, summer cookouts. All good reasons to make the call to Captain Chucky's. Order delicious seafood. Make your gathering a hit. Let Captain Chucky's help. Don't forget to order that brand new Bang Bang Jumbo Lump Crab Cake. Delicious, creamy, 5-ounce jumbo lump breaded crab cake with a kick. For those who like to spice it up with some heat, check your store for availability. Important to call them up. And now's the perfect time to check out everything at Captain Chucky's. Delicious stuffed mushrooms, salads, tremendous variety of homemade dishes. Captain Chucky's always has several choices of breaded, non-breaded crab cakes, literally a crab cake for everybody and every taste. Dessert, soup, sides, appetizers, highest quality ingredients. Gulf shrimp, always a huge hit. It's always wild caught. It's never farm raised. And my favorite, those delicious Dom rolls. So just visit Captain Chucky's. There's a location all over the place near you. One website, WeLoveCrabCakes.com, WeLoveCrabCakes.com. If you're headed to the shore, they even have another website for you, Captain Chucky's at theshore.com.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $40 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $18 a month, a savings of nearly $300 a year.
Whether you need a $100,000 policy or a $10 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. In a hurry? Don't worry. With SelectQuote, you can get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-637-9116. That's 1-800-637-9116. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-637-9116. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
I heard you hired a CFO for your business. How did you afford that?
Easy. I hired Style CFO Services. They do everything a full-time CFO does. Cash flow forecasts, custom financial reports. Our profitability has skyrocketed. They even helped me get ready for our audit.
I bet they're really expensive.
You wouldn't believe how affordable they are. They will even do a 21-point assessment of your finances for free.
For free? How do I sign up?
Just go to StylesCFO.com.
StylesCFO.com?
Yep, that's STILES CFO.com.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Do you know when the best time to buy investment properties is? It's now. It's always now. You just need to learn how to buy them correctly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night and learn how to buy investment properties and make money every time. That's right. That's what we teach. We teach how to buy investment properties and make money every time. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now. Take a class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Don't go through life ignorant about how to become a millionaire. Learn how to invest in real estate, the stock market, precious metals, and learn from an expert. At Investor Schooling, we teach these things and more. We only provide education, and we will teach you how to leverage real estate, how to leverage the stock market, and how to leverage precious metals to make more money than you've ever made before. Go to investorschooling.com and take a complimentary class this Thursday. We will see you there, investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com.
At Infinity of Westchester, we believe in transparency, fairness, and above all, serving our customers with care. Whether you're looking for a brand new Infinity or a reliable pre-owned vehicle, we have something for everyone. This month, save up to $15,000 on select Infinity models. And that's not all. Every new Infinity purchase comes with 3 years free maintenance. So don't wait. Visit us in-store or online today at infinityofwestchester.com. Philly rides with us.
On Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, Dom Giordano show. Kind of breaking news. Sam Alito saying, no, I'm not going to recuse myself. Are you kidding me? From the January 6 cases, it was my wife, and she refused to take the flag down. And I could see with Roe, she wants that flag up there. That's trouble to take it down. Of course, Judge Merchan, the media doesn't think he should recuse himself, given his daughter brought in, $93 million for Democrats, head of digital for all kinds of big Democrat senators. He doesn't have any stake in this game. All right, a guy who is just incredible, including Danny's kind of quirky. I'm doing a national show again tonight, and I had the producers of the show saying Dom's filling in. He thought they were Democrats, though, and apparently refused to answer.
I love that. That is amazing.
He's not going to be annoyed. He's too busy out there turning Bucks County red. And there's another update on this. We got to start to be thinking about how are we going to celebrate if, say, sometime in August, We have one more registrant in Bucks County that's a Republican than the Democrats. All right, let's go to Scott Presler, who I think was in Chicago the last I checked. Hey, Scott, welcome back to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Don. Thank you.
So, Scott, the numbers this week that you reported on Twitter today, going from 1496 down in registration in Bucks to only 1222, that's a big, big uptick in the weekly numbers. What's happening?
Yeah, this is huge. So we had our primary in Pennsylvania on April 23rd. And, that's when we're a closed primary state, so people have to be registered with a party to vote in the primary. And that's when we had presidential, we had congressional elections, state, et cetera. So really, after April 23rd, there's no real reason to register with a party because the next election is November, unless, of course, you're preparing for next year. And so I was expecting, perhaps some of these Bucks County numbers, maybe Democrats had registered as a Republican so they could vote in our primary. That happens from time to time. And so I thought maybe that number might go up again and we might see more Democrats registering in Bucks, but that wasn't the case. In fact, I want to read you, because I get a weekly report. It comes out on every single Monday. And here's what happened in the last 7 days in Bucks County. 33 Republicans switched to Democrat. Those are probably Democrats that switched to Republican for the primary, and 49 no party affiliated switched to Democrat. But listen to this. At the same time, 120 Democrats flipped to Republican in Bucks County. And furthermore, 85 no party affiliated, otherwise known as independents, switched to Republican. And then statewide, it's very fascinating. 724 Democrats switched, 724 Republicans switched to Democrat. So again, those are probably maybe Nikki Haley supporters or, people that wanted to switch to Republican to vote in our primary. But at the same time, 1,800 Democrats switched to Republican. So there is something going on here in Pennsylvania. And I will tell you that we've been doing a targeted campaign reaching out to the Jewish community across Pennsylvania and especially Bucks County. And we've been reaching out not only to independent voters, but also registered Democrats. And we have a wonderful cadre of people across the country that are writing postcards, handwritten postcards into Bucks County from California and from all over. And I do believe that is making an impact in why we're seeing the numbers play out like they are.
Scott, couldn't agree more. And the genius of having these people in these states where there's no shot, you're wasting your time, California to flip that, maybe New York, but not California, that they can have impact. You've empowered them in this idea, and then you've inspired them to do a lot more of it. We talked about this woman that wrote 780 some of those, and tonight you're going to be on a national show with me. I know you've done a lot of national shows, but
yes.
I don't think this audience knows enough about how you got started with the cleanup campaign and what you've morphed into now with this. That is just, and I think the skill that is just breeds through you is the goodness of what you want for the country, but you're an incrementalist. Too many people think you just do this overnight. It's the incremental battle. You inspire people to see that. So based on these projections, maybe Bucks County flips. We're hoping in August. We got another reason to celebrate then.
Absolutely. Well, I can't wait to see y'all on June 21st for your annual party down in Wildwood, New Jersey, and I will be there. And maybe if it even flips by then, oh my gosh, if it flips by then, you will see a very wild
yeah, that's
Scott.
what I'm telling you. We need people to work extremely hard. I'm telling you, Johnny Z will open up another outlet there. We're going to, Scott, the people that want to come and meet you, it is incredible. Really, you've inspired people to just think, how does this, I saw it in Harrogate, the border of Kensington, with that lady from the main line asking you questions, coming into one of the roughest areas on the East Coast. It is tremendous.
Thank you. Well, and, I made Democrats really happy this last week and really sad at the same time because I said I went to jail. And the Democrats got really happy because they probably said they probably thought that I really went to jail, but they don't realize that I went to the DuPage County Jail in Illinois to actually go meet with inmates and talk to them about voting. And one thing that people don't understand in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania is if you are a former felon and you are no longer incarcerated, your rights are restored. So if you are listening right now to the Dom Giordano show, and maybe maybe this story relates to you, slide into my DMs at Scott Pressler on X, and I would love to meet with you personally. Wherever it is in Pennsylvania, I'd love to register you to vote. And let's make sure that we're voting to make the state, the Commonwealth, and our country better. And who better than people that have suffered at the hands of the criminal and justice system like President Trump is, where that jury is deliberating right now? Who better than to help make sure that we have a system of justice for all?
Absolutely. Now, where do people go to? We have a lot of people in Jersey and Delaware where it's very difficult for them, but it can influence what goes on here in Pennsylvania, and you direct them to do it. Where do they go, Scott?
Yeah, I really need help. Like, if you're sitting at home right now and you're watching these jury deliberations and you're going, gosh, I feel so helpless. I want to do something. And you're going, but Scott, I live in Delaware. We know how it's going to vote. Or Scott, Jersey's a bit of an uphill battle. What can I do? Please pick up your iPhone, your Android, go to your App Store or your Play Store, and I want you to download, please, Early Vote Action. Early, like you're early to something, vote, VOTE, action. And it's free application. And you're going to be able, from that application, to send text messages to members of the Jewish community or young Democrat males in Pittsburgh with an anti-war, pro-peace message. Or you can even write postcards, go to Wally World, Walmart, pick up some letters. You can write some postcards. I'm only asking for people to do 5. Or you can even make phone calls. So literally from the comfort of your home, you can help reach out to voters in Pennsylvania and help save our country using the Early Vote Action application on your phone.
Absolutely. Scott, can hardly wait for the 21st, and you know that, but for listeners, the Barefoot Country event, 40,000 people is there. Sounds like Pressler Country to me. We'll have to nominate it for that.
Oh, gosh. I'm so gosh darn excited. It's going to be awesome.
Scott, thank you. Talk with you tonight.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Scott Pressler here on Talk Radio 1210 doesn't accept. That sounded like a Democrat call. Oh, my God.
I love that.
So when I texted him 11 seconds later, he's back. Oh, yeah, I'll be on for it. I'll do that tonight. Okay. One little sidebar here, Dan, that I can't resist. This would be a Dan Time with Dom that you might throw to me.
Oh, yeah?
I'm a big fan, bingo long traveling all-stars about the so-called, the name they used, the Negro Leagues then, where Jackie Robinson came through, et cetera. And Major League Baseball's heart is in the right place, but I don't, the statistics that still pretty much hold up are the statistics of baseball. I mean, there have been wild things because of the steroids and the home runs and all that. But, the number of hits you get over the course of your career and all, and baseball vary. These are long-term statistics. What they did is they went back to the Negro Leagues, and they now they're saying that Josh Gibson becomes the Major League career and season batting leader by incorporating Negro League statistics into the official thing. He's become the career leader in slugging percentage, 718, and OPS, 1,177, moving ahead of Babe Ruth, who was 690 and 1,164. Now, recognizing Josh Gibson, his greatness, to my knowledge, he never played in the major leagues. Satchel Paige did, but God knows how old he was by the time I think, with Cleveland, right? That's a good thing. But can you make that guy the career, and I'll tell you where I'm going with this, the career leader in these categories? Don't you think that league was a little bit different than the major leagues? So guess who under this guise would be the all-time hits leader? Ichiro.
Huh?
He played in the Japanese leagues.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And I don't know how many hits he had exactly, but it was numerous. And he came relatively close to Pete Rose in Major League Baseball. So should he be the all-time hit leader?
I mean, another example is the ABA. Those stats don't count towards NBA totals. When we're talking about historical records in the NBA, it's a separate league.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it was a lesser league. I mean, they incorporated several players into the NBA, but the NBA, as my basketball, I'd say, was better then. So, this idea is just insidious to me. You want to do the right thing by these players, but you can't make them the all-time leader. And there's a reason why some of these sports records are so cherished. Babe Ruth's home run record, for example, and the things that went on around steroids. But just a little aside,
I mean, I'd counter, though. The counter argument would be the AFL.
Right.
Now counts towards NFL statistics.
They definitely should not. Because the AFL just threw the ball all over the place. Yeah, they really did. You look it up. They were throwing some quarterbacks 60 passes a game and all. I don't know how you could.
Yeah.
And it was a lesser league. The AFL was not as good as the NFL. They brought in any number of really good players, but it wasn't as good. I think you could put those out there in a special category, but you can't make them the record. As great as Josh Gibson was, I mean, would he have done that in the big? We don't know. Okay. Joe Biden may speak sometimes today. Still not there yet, right, Dan?
There's a speaker on stage. I don't know who it is, though.
Okay. Yeah, well, we'll bring you a little bit of it, or we'll bring you the sound. He's at Girard College. But I'm coming to your calls, too. A lot of people lined up. I'm going to respect that. We'll get to your calls.
Later.
Sorry.
That's okay. But first, it is time for...
Oh, it is.
That's right.
It's Dom's Money Melody.
Where has all the money gone?
That's right. We are playing today for a digital movie code to see in the land of saints and sinners. Liam Neeson plays a retired hitman, Finbar Murphy. I wonder how long they worked on that name. Who finds peace in a quiet Irish town until terrorists force him back into action. From Goldwyn Films and Sony Pictures Home Entertainment. Available to buy on rent, on digital now, rated R. All right, Dan, what do you have?
A lot of folds to this one today, Dom. Today we're asking a side topic of who's someone that's genuinely loved by everybody. And one of your contributions was the great Fred Rogers, Dom.
It's such a good feeling to know you're alive. It's such a happy feeling.
I don't think anyone can deny that everybody loves Fred Rogers, so I thought maybe we'd take a cover song of Mr. Rogers today. Why not?
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. And I thought we'll do it, tie it all together. This comes on the day of the cover artist's passing, and the cover artist himself is a genuinely liked individual by the masses as well, actually winning Best Inspirational Performance in the Grammys 4 times, Dom, and being nominated for Best Male Pop Vocal Performance. And actually, one of his songs, one that we're all very familiar with, is in the Grammy Hall of Fame because it's so important to American history, Dom. So today, who is the cover artist here, genuinely liked, who passed away on this day, covering Fred Rogers? Take a listen.
It's such a good feeling to know you're alive. It's such a happy feeling. You're growing inside, and when you wake up ready to say, I think I'll make a snappy new day. It's such a good feeling, a very good feeling, the feeling you know that we're friends.
The way he did this song sounds very similar to his very popular song.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
in the Grammy
Very,
Hall of
very
Fame.
distinctive setup and voice and style. Very distinctive. Who is that? Hit us with that. We have the digital film for you and the Dom Show. Here's how you get in. 855-839-1210. AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All you have to do is just push pound 1210.
I think I'll make a snappy new day. It's such a good feeling, a very good feeling, the feeling you know.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started Wesley Financial Group to do one thing: help people get out of their timeshare nightmare. When you buy a timeshare, the timeshare company can raise your annual maintenance fees at will. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Want out of your timeshare? Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. Call 800-290-7100. That's 800-290-7100. That's 800-290-7100.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? Fog between the glass? Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace.
If you've put off replacing windows because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door.
Just text DOOR to 200-300 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year.
That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month.
Text DOOR to 200-300 right now. Text the word DOOR to 200-300. Don't wait. Text DOOR to 200-300.
Get slimmer for the summer by losing a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days with NJ Diet. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or go to njdiet.com. Get ready for spring with njdiet.com.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Tune in to Your Radio Doctor every Saturday afternoon at 5 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for the latest healthcare news and information, because your health is your wealth. That's Your Radio Doctor, Saturdays at 5.
Baseball season is heating up. With the free Odyssey app, you can get the most entertaining local coverage of your team while you're at work or on the go. Stay locked in and in the know with your favorite hosts as they bring you unfiltered takes, react to the latest team news, and talk to callers. Don't miss any of the action. Stream the shows you love live or on demand with the Odyssey app. That's AUDACY. Download it today for free. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT. Free speech lives here.
It's Dom Money Melody.
Where has all the money gone?
Show me the money.
All right, we're approaching on the Jury Watch about the length of a Springsteen performance for a De Niro film, coming up in almost 3 hours. Let's hear the clue today, though, for Dom's Money Melody.
Looking for this cover artist, Dom. Yes. Take a listen.
It's such a good feeling to know you're alive. It's such a happy feeling. You're growing inside, and when you wake up ready to say, I think I'll make a snappy new day.
Let's go to Marilyn in Bridesboro. All right, who's covering that song, Marilyn?
That's B.J. Thomas, my favorite. One of my favorites.
Yes, very distinctive. Nicely done. Dan, you thought we'd have to give clues, but no way, B.J. Thomas.
Right away, Marilyn.
Right away.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
All right, good stuff. Let's take you over to Girard College, where the Vice President of the United States is telling the kids how awful things are before Biden does it. Here's Kamala Harris.
So that medical debt cannot impact a person's ability to get a car loan, an apartment lease, or a home loan. In 2020, we promised to forgive student loan debt.
There we go.
People testifying.
Biden's roaming around like a Roomba in the background. This is great.
Can I get a witness?
Oh, my God. All right.
And I'll tell you, I have a unique position as vice president to spend a lot of time with our president.
It is unique. There's only
and
one of you.
on this subject, I remember sitting in the Oval Office with our president, Joe Biden, shortly after the United States Supreme Court struck down our initial plan to forgive billions of dollars in student loan debt. A different leader, a different kind of leader, would have thrown in the towel. Not Joe Biden. Not Joe Biden.
He doesn't know what the towels are.
And I'm going to tell you what he said that day. This is not over.
Where are the towels?
All right. Thank you very much. All right. This is not over. We're going to continue.
It is over for us, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
we're
you know, their kids here. We'll see what Biden tells them about the country. Lee Zeldin will be here in about 8 minutes. Former congressman, ran against Hochul in New York, and here to tell us what the Biden-Harris people are missing today with this pitch at Girard College. All right, let's go to Joe of Exton. Hey, Joe. Good afternoon.
Yes, hello, Don, and happy Cocoa Wednesday to you.
Thank you, Joe.
Joe, do you make that a regularly? Is that Wednesday night dinner at the Joe of Exton household?
Yeah, come on down.
All right.
One of the most delicious chicken dishes you ever put in your mouth.
So, Don.
Yes.
My person who is beloved by all is Dawn Stensland of The Dawn Show.
Oh. Yes, very good choice.
She consistently displays an endearing and kind attitude toward other people.
Absolutely,
Concur,
Joe.
yes, 100%.
We concur. Thank you, Joe, very much.
Forgot his theme music.
Yes, that's right, particularly with the Julia Child on the background. All right, the big question, Dom Day is coming together greatly. You heard Scott Presler is going to be honoring the cops that had to face the khaki brigade on the boardwalk there. And great people stopping by. Will Joe of Exton make it to Mulligan's this year, though?
I hope so.
Oh, my
I
God.
hope so.
Well, I told Rose she'll have him back in that back room there where she usually sits.
Johnny, do you happen to have a
entertaining.
velvet throne sitting back there that we can place Joe in for the entire show?
Yeah, can you imagine? We come up, we can at least
Smoking
have
his pipe.
a king's hat for him, something.
Shakespeare on his lap.
I know she'll be there, I believe. Joan Cullen here on Talk Radio 12.
Somebody, Keith Olbermann, but everybody else seems to like.
Yeah, that's right, Keith. That's right. That's your pedigree. Attacked by Keith Olbermann viciously.
Yes, my badge of honor.
Yes.
Wear it, Joan. Wear it.
Yeah.
I do, proudly. How are you guys today?
Good, Joan.
I would greet you with that chicken dish, but I can't pronounce it. Even though I've listened to it while you've played it, I can't.
Do you want to try?
The term I just cannot.
All right, listen to Julia Child here. Here we go.
Okay. Coq au vin. I got it.
That's pretty close.
We
Yes.
got it, we
Yes.
got it.
Yes.
All right. Very good. So there were so many things. I think Scott Presler, he's a disarming person. That when people get to talking to him, they end up really liking him. So, maybe not nationally yet, but I think he's someone that people will come to love and find to be a warm and caring person.
He is disarming, without a doubt.
Yeah. So I wanted to, I know it was a while ago, but that clip from CNBC, I guess, where the guy was explaining that, people are really doing well. They just don't, the country's doing well. They just don't know it. It is insulting that they think that people don't realize what's going on. And I think the reason why people are saying about themselves, I'm okay, is because that's the automatic reply that you give someone when they ask, how are you? You say, I'm doing great. You don't want to dump your problems on other people. You have
Hey,
pride.
Joan, how are you doing today? I'm
Yeah.
$40,000 in debt, and, my dog's sick.
Joan, but, there's another group of people, too. They're not destitute. They're not being crushed in that manner, but they're having to lower expectations for themselves and their kids. And we don't have any crisis that this should be happening other than Joe Biden causing it. That's the subtle thing that I think people are sensing. Why should I have to pay 50% more for pickle relish? Why?
Right. Yeah, some of the price rate increases are absolutely outrageous. And then, what's also insidious is that they then, I just saw on X today, someone saying, capitalism is supposed to be so great, but look at how much these prices have risen. And of course, it's not because of capitalism, it's because of these horrible policies. But this is how socialists mess with people's minds and convince them that socialism would be better, government control would be better because, we could have lower prices for everybody. But really, these kind of government control socialist policies are the cause of the thing. And then they turn around and try to make it seem like it's capitalism, which has, gotten more people out of poverty in world history than any other kind of economic system before. So.
Absolutely. Joan, thank you. Thanks very much. Congressman Lee Zeldin is next. Ran against Hochul, did very well in New York. Here to talk about the Biden-Harris program coming to Girard College, then some black entrepreneurial thing near Girard College. And Biden hasn't spoken yet, but we dip in when we can here.
No, he's speaking now. He came up.
You can't monitor it, though. Let's just hear, Dan, maybe 30 seconds of this here from President Biden. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good. It's good to be.
Quoting Merrill Reese, it's good.
It's good to be almost home. I just live down the road a little bit. Thank you, Kamala, for your partnership, and it is a partnership. And how about another round of applause for our great Vice President?
Okay, all right, that's enough. We did our due diligence here. We'll see
so many state and local
when he starts running down the country, we'll get to that. But Lee Zeldin is next, and then we have the lightning round. You get in at 855-839-1210, here with Dom and Dan.
It is a pleasant start to the day with plenty of sunshine, but clouds will build up during the afternoon. Watch out for some scattered showers and storms later during the day with a high 78. Tonight, shower storm this evening, otherwise partly cloudy, low 59. And Thursday, partly sunny and cooler, high 76.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before. We now have more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world. Protecting America, fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
If your child needs support, special tutoring, and custom instruction, METC is here to help. The school year is ending, and now's the time to call Kathy Ganna and make the most of the rest of this school year and get a plan in place for your student this fall. Call the Motivational Educational Tutoring Company. For over 30 years, METC's tutoring studio, founded by educator Kathy Ganna, has helped people of all ages grow personally and academically. Call Kathy today at 215-493-4200. METC offers motivational SAT prep as well as academic skills and leadership training. Call 215-493-4200. Visit online at metc.com. Call METC's tutoring studio today at 215-493-4200 or email Kathy directly at info@metc.com. Remember, 1210 listeners receive a free 1-hour consultation. Take advantage of this opportunity to help your child get one-on-one help. Call 215-493-4200.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt?
visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
I learned it from my adoptive mom. Hold my hand.
You hold my hand. Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic.
Must be a tech thing. But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Have you been thinking about doing a Roth conversion, but the upfront taxes are holding you back? Welcome to Rothright. We can show you how to significantly reduce taxes on a conversion, potentially saving hundreds of thousands, even millions in taxes over your lifetime. A Roth conversion will give you tax-free income, eliminate required minimum distributions, and leave a tax-free estate to your heirs. Sign up for a free educational seminar now. Call 855-415-ROTH. That's 855-415-ROTH. Rothright is not a financial advisory firm. Consult with a tax professional before making any financial decisions.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
If anyone wonders whether their vote matters, remember this. Because Black America voted in 2020, please have a seat if you can. Have a seat.
All right. The racial appeals will start with President Biden. Here on the other side, someone who's very accomplished, former congressman. You see him on Fox a lot. Heck of a race for governor in New York, which is really tough. Congressman Lee Zeldin joins us, former congressman on Talk Radio 1210. Congressman, welcome in. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, first of all, on you personally, you've been a big Trump surrogate, a heck of a race in New York with Kathy Hochul. I wish she had said what she said about the computer. But also, I mean, you were actually physically attacked during that.
Well, I'll tell you, she did say some loony things during the campaign, stuff like August of 2022, calling on Donald Trump and Lee Zeldin to get on a bus and move down to Florida. And it was a clear statement to Republicans, conservatives in the state that for challenging her, for disagreeing that we're not welcome in New York. And there was stuff like that going on through the campaign. Nurses put out of a job for a personal decision not to get the COVID vaccine, talking down to people who, I believe the public service is about serving the public rather than being served by the public. And to your point, we did during the campaign experience at a rally July of 22 while I was campaigning near Rochester. Someone came on stage and had tried to attack me and disrupt the speech. And what was wild was the person who attacked me was actually immediately released on cashless bail within hours in the middle of the night, which is a whole other story. But, listen, we gave it a good run. We came up just short. Fortunately, we're able to get 11 House Republicans elected in the state, 6 freshmen in districts that Biden won, and it's great not having to deal with a Speaker Pelosi or Speaker Jeffries right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what's going on in New York? I'm not sure if you were there in the South Bronx. I think that was the greatest Trump speech, not going back to 2022, but opportunity, his persona, breaking through. The polling is clear with African-American and Latino voters. We're seeing that. So much so that President Biden and Harris are here in Philadelphia today at the same site, an historic black boarding school, Girard College. Your thoughts, their pitch is America is still discriminatory. What's your thought on it?
Well, I'll tell you, one thought is there's no way they're going to get the crowd and energy that President Trump got in the South Bronx. And what's wild is that in the South Bronx, Joe Biden easily won, crushed the campaign in 2020. Democrats do every election in the Bronx. Because of the voter registration, it's so overwhelmingly Democrat. This should be an area where things are reversed, that somebody like Joe Biden shows up and and he's able to fill up a venue and get passion and supporters, not the other way around. But President Trump is, it's right. He's making the correct call to, instead of just speaking to an echo chamber of people who support you most passionately, the people who are most likely to attend your rally and volunteer and support you in different ways, speaking to longtime Democratic voters who are getting burned by Democratic policies. They're disenfranchised by the Democratic Party, and they want to try something new. And the fact is that when these people look back on 4 years of President Trump being in office and compare it to what life's been like under Joe Biden, they say, you know what, my life, I felt safer, I lived life freer, there was more prosperity, and I want to be able to go back to that. And I think that people have a fresh look on President Trump's term in office, and they're saying, man, I took it for granted the first time. A lot of people are regretting their vote for Joe Biden in 2020, and there's a big opportunity. But President Trump understands it's not going to just happen on its own. You have to go out and earn it. He's willing to do it, and these people are waiting with open arms for him to show up.
Now, the only antidote to that on the other side is lawfare. You've been there. Give us an idea, your personal takeaways from the Trump trial.
It's sick. This really is a Soviet-style show trial. You look at the way that the judge is giving the jury instructions where President Trump still does not know. It's crazy to me. They finished the case. They finished closing arguments. They're done with jury instructions. The jury is deliberating. In order to convict President Trump of a felony, the jury has to find an underlying charge was committed. And the judge is not only allowing this to be unidentified, but he's actually telling the jury that they can all come up with their own underlying charge. They don't even have to agree with each other. It doesn't even have to be unanimous. Now, what should happen is when you first charge somebody, you're telling that person exactly what they're being charged with. And when you go into a trial, that person's defense counsel has the ability to defend their client against those specified charges. And the fact that the only way that they can possibly convict President Trump is by making up an underlying charge that has not yet been specified and only have to all agree with each other on it, that is insane. And that's just part of the reason why so many Americans see this as a political prosecution, and even folks who don't even like President Trump are calling this out for what it is. And God bless them for doing it, because they care about something bigger than all that. And I think that the supporters of President Trump will support him more intensely because of this trial. And I think a whole lot of people will be thinking a little differently the next time Joe Biden is talking about threats against democracy.
Absolutely. Congressman, thank you. Thanks for joining us in Philadelphia today.
You got it. Take care.
All right, Congressman Lee Zeldin, we're referencing, it was in a cornfield, I think, and you heard what he said. The guy was out just like Alvin Bragg in New York, releasing everybody. He's right. The main thing from the jury instructions today, you can find members of the jury. It doesn't have to be unanimous, 12 Angry Men. Great film, by the way. Henry Fonda, I can go watch that right now. You can have 4 people say it was a tax violation. You can have 4 people say it was a state violation of election laws. You can have 4 say it was a federal, or they might say anything else. As long as they all say something was the underlying, he's right, the underlying crime, it doesn't matter. They don't have to be unanimous on that. Now, right there on appeal, that's going to be torn apart. But remember, it's not about that. And I see that people like Mark Levin really had something brilliant, but I hate to think we're at this point where Mark put up on Twitter from a friend of his who was very knowledgeable that Trump can seek a direct appeal to the Supreme Court depending on the Manhattan jury's decision. I still am maintaining, and one of the things I grabbed onto today is that the jurors, several of them, were taking a lot of notes. That's a good sign. You're not taking notes if you're solidly just going to go in there, I believe, get Trump, because that's what you're told to do, democracy, the judge, etc., saving democracy. If they're taking notes, if they're earnest in that, and there are a couple of lawyers on there, I still believe in the end you're going to have a hung jury. But this judge, and I'll play it tomorrow, again, did a national show last night, and I brought up the Allen charge, and this big-time lawyer, Dan, was stunned. How do you know about the Allen charge? You're right. It was a lot of fun. I'll play it tomorrow. I'll play it tomorrow. The idea being that the judge will move heaven and earth to force those in the minority, which will be those that say it doesn't reach the standard, there's reasonable doubt, to come together and go along to find it some way to get with the majority. Because there's no way, I think, with this jury that President Trump is going to be acquitted. Doesn't have to be. It's all about one thing. Do we have a couple of people, at least one, and that would be ferocious what that person will face, 2 or 3 on this jury that will say, no, this is definitely reasonable doubt. This is not even close. If that happens and it's a hung jury, Trump can talk about taking one for the team, this persecution, and they can't lay on him the only thing they want out of this convicted criminal. It's going to be very interesting by Friday, when whatever happens, or at least by the weekend, to see how America reacts. I can be persuaded, just as Lee Zeldin mentioned, there will be a lot of people as they start to digest this go, this is ridiculous.
Interesting scenario here presented by Dr. Truth on Twitter.
Yes.
What if the judge gives jury instruction that guarantees a guilty outcome, then Biden takes the stage and pardons Trump?
Yeah, right. No, he's just wanting to take a stage. They just want to say that magic thing because they believe, and I don't believe it's going to be suddenly people listening now that are Trump supporters are going to abandon Trump, but I'm an incrementalist. And around the edges in a state like Pennsylvania, you might see a percentage point do that. And that could be telling. Will that be matched by those who say, this is just completely unfair? Just this jury instruction, you don't all have to agree on the underlying crime. That on the surface of it is ridiculous. By the way, the judge gets to enunciate the sentence. We're unclear. Would he immediately be sent to jail? The Secret Service preparing for that. That's a little bit doubtful. And this appeal to the Supreme Court would take a while. All they want is that brand, and Biden wants to be able to say it from the White House. That's what this is all about. Nothing else matters in this. They know these other cases are not going to impact the election. So Trump is on trial for his freedom, but also on trial for the presidency, potentially. And that's a great unknown. How are people going to react if there is a conviction on something here? Which I still am in the camp. I'm still sticking by it. That's not going to happen. And the longer this goes on, we get to like a Friday, and you know there's a real potential. Get to Friday of a hung jury. Dan, you had something else?
No, Biden's still speaking.
Okay.
And he just went a little crazy on coronavirus and talking about how Trump was the guy who told you to inject bleach and all that. I have that audio if you want to hear a little bit.
No, still I'm waiting for the pitch to these poor kids about how America doesn't like them as much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wonder if those kids and their parents being kept out of school unnecessarily think that may be a greater thing than whatever Trump may or may not have said there. All right, it is the lightning round next, though. Here's how you get in, 855-839-1210.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-688-6641. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
I think one of the things that patients don't realize is that when they get a joint replacement, that's not a lifetime treatment option. And they're probably, if they are a younger patient, signing up for multiple surgeries down the road.
As a physician and medical director for QC Kinetics, Dr. Caravelli's seen a pattern of trending joint pain. Prolonged medication, steroids, then surgery, possibly another surgery.
So a lot of our patients are trying to avoid or put off surgery, and this is the treatment that can help them do that.
QC Kinetics extracts your body's healing substances, concentrates them back into your aching joints to help heal and restore those areas, providing lasting relief.
Oh, I love being able to tell my patients, before we do this surgery, let's try another option. Let's see if this is right for you, because now they might not have to have surgery at all.
Call today for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000. That's 215-999-3000. 215-999-3000.
Fargo, the new virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Terms and conditions apply. Your mobile carrier's availability and message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
This is Bill Hoffman, president of Hoffman's Exterminating. We've been protecting Delaware Valley homes and businesses from pests for 34 years, all while supporting our local community. We also support those who protect us, our veterans. Robert Rutherford, our Director of People and Culture, served 10 years in the U.S. Marine Corps. We at Hoffman's have made a commitment to hire veterans. Our veterans are valued, and the skills they learned in the military are transferable. Join the Hoffman's family and visit us at hoffmansexterminating.com.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we have absolutely incredible offers and a plethora of both new and certified Volvos from which to choose. We are eager to offer amazingly competitive prices, plus an additional $1,000 Costco discount on all new Cherry Hill Volvos. I am Judith Krepnick, president of Cherry Hill Volvo. Our last new 2023 XC90 T8 is available for purchase, and the savings is huge. Save $12,867 off of the suggested retail.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions.
Attention, anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this, because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, or other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-721-4643. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes, and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-721-4643 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, or other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-721-4643. 800-721-4643. 800-721-4643.
Hey, Clementon. Yeah! We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. WPHT.
Mag Extremist banned books. Did you ever think if you're anybody over 30 years old, you'd go through a period where we're banning books in America? They're trying to erase black history. We're going to write black history because it's American history.
You know, this man, one thing you have to take, Dom Giordano's show, with the outrage of what he just told these kids there mainly. So, Dan, we'll get David Hardy on tomorrow, and I ask him, does he have regrets when he has the President of the United States up there telling them that we want to get rid of black history, and he's not going to stand for any of this? You have to take into account, it's not just the dementia. He's always been this way. He's a mean, angry moron. You have to understand the level here. And I don't say that about every Democrat. Obama, Hillary, Bill Clinton, smart people. Pelosi, Biden, dopes. And somehow or another, accidentally, he's got to be play it one more time, Dan, so it sinks in what we're up against with kids, second graders, kindergarten. Not going to let you leave black history.
It's within our power to do this.
Sorry, I had to cue it up. Here it is.
Yeah.
MAGA extremists ban books. Did you ever think if you're anybody over 30 years old, you'd go through a period where banning books in America? They're trying to erase black history. We're going to write black history because it's American history. It's American history.
Yeah. School kids, can you look in the mirror? Of course. Of course. Name some of the things we're erasing that are black history. All right, we'll have more on that tomorrow. Let me go
The time has come for the final test.
Okay.
We usually call it the lightning round.
Let's go to Gary in Newtown. And Gary, who's that person that's lovable?
Well, I'll say this first. I love Joe from Exon's answer, Dawn Stenlin. She is really a nice lady to listen to in the morning. And in that mention of Joe, I believe that I'm going to be there on the 21st. I will extend a ride for Joe to Cape May, and I believe there's another caller, Robert from Ben Salem. I don't want to volunteer him for. He might be going as well, so there might be a carpooling situation that might work for everybody.
Set up a camera and record that.
Oh, yes. We need
some audio.
We need the sound of Joe as you're down the open road.
Taking a road trip with Joe and Robert and Ben. That sounds fantastic.
Yes.
Well, before we go there, I want a letter of intent from you guys on where we can publish and market it together. So.
Oh, absolutely. Well, no, we'll play it. We have all rights to Joe of Exton's Mind. Yes.
Yeah, this format of 3 episodes to build a character. I personally believe that in contrast or in complementary to Deanne's taking one off the board for. Tom Hanks and I can't forget his name.
Forrest Gump.
Yes.
Forrest Gump. Thank you. Is Ted Lasso?
That's
Ted
a great
Lasso.
one.
3 seasons.
Yep.
Of not saying one bad thing about anybody.
That is a great one. Let's go to Drew in Upper Darby. Hey, Drew, what's yours?
Hey, Dom. Thank you very much. Dom, this guy is such a good, patriotic, lovable guy that. When he won the Olympic gold medal in 1968 for heavyweight boxing, he got the American flag and he bowed 4 times around the ring. He really loves the country and he's a good man. It's George Foreman. And remember, he did that during all that racial strife of the 60s.
Great stuff. Came up a rough way, frightening figure in his time, but lovable. Second career, Foreman Grill. That's big. Michael in the Northeast. Hey, Michael, who's yours?
Oh, Dom and Dan, he's not that bad. Biden is only doing his best. That would be Edith Bunker.
Nice job
not
there.
Bad, Michael.
Nice job. Not bad at all. Very nice.
Wow. Wasn't expecting the impression.
You know the thing with Edith that's great? When she's kind of running in place with Archie to get something. Now, the run, you're not really running and taking strides. You're running up and down fast when she would shuffle and do that. Yeah. The Earl of Tacony. Earl, who's yours?
I didn't realize Biden was going to be in town today until I saw the 3 black helicopter gunships come out of Northeast Airport, so that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But I'm going to go with the name that I used to name my cat because they look similar. Gizmo, the gremlin.
Gotcha. All right, it's time to convene and pick a winner in a tough field here today, Dan.
I really like the local tie to the 12-10 with Dawn Stenson.
Yes, that's a great one.
I like George Foreman was a good answer, but Edith Bunker with the impression, too. And Ashley Epstein, the first one.
Yeah. Right.
Some good ones here.
Oh, I got to go. I'm going to go with the Ashley Epstein.
Yeah.
That was a magnificent packed into that. That deserves
small-time actress, but highlighting the Comic-Con sense of just being able to navigate with fans and talk with fans.
The guy hit so many points. Great stuff. Great stuff. By the way, the mayor of Margate doing the right thing. Another date night for the Kelseys on them in Margate because of that nonsense with the harasser. So it wasn't Seattle, it was Margate. All right, Rich Cioli is next to take you through these tumultuous times on Talk Radio 1210.
Do you have a life insurance policy of $100,000 or more that you don't need? Well, don't lapse or surrender your policy. You might be sitting on a gold mine. That's right. You may be able to sell all or part of your life insurance policy to Coventry for cash, or a combination of cash and coverage with no future premiums, even a term policy. Call Coventry Direct at 800-411-8300. Or visit CoventryDirect.com to find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. That's 800-411-8300. For over 25 years, we've helped thousands of people sell their policies. And we can probably help you, too. Call us today at 800-411-8300 or visit CoventryDirect.com to find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. That's 800-411-8300. Call now.
If you put the words retirement savings crisis into Google, you'll get about 81 million